towards this busier section of the street where you see, sort of as a show of force, there seems to be someone that is a little bit more well decorated. You're not sure if they are high up in their rankings, but at the very least, he looks like he's been placed in charge.
All right.
It seems to be a Goliath, which is a form of giant kin. He stands at about 8 feet tall, pallid gray skin, tattoos across a bald head. He wears plate armor that looks a little bit nicer than the others, almost as though it is magically enchanted to be a bit sturdier. And the cloak seems to have a little bit stronger of an enchantment attached to it as well. The halberd he wields seems to have a upgraded abilities per his station.
Okay. I'll just say to Killian, follow my lead. Do I recognize his rank? Would I recognize rank? I mean, I know I could pick him out as more of a leader, but do I actually know? I mean, I would assume, because of my training, that I would. Because
Actually, this seems to be more that it'd be akin to like a captain.
Okay. All right. Okay, good. So he's a captain. KK. All right, I'm gonna mosey up to him.
Colonel, sir, what's going on?
He turns towards you, looks you up and down real quick, and tries to like gauge where or how he may know you or why you would be interacting with him. Just goes, official business with the Cerberus. Everything's all right.
Everything's okay. I mean, half the city's collapsed. Was there an earthquake, or I mean, why is the assembly involved?
Assembly's just concerned that this may have been forced by some sort of magical means, making sure that there's not going to be any aftershocks either.
I see. You're just a grunt. I used to be in the army. I understand. You don't get a lot of information.
There's like a setting to the jaw as you say that. He
I did that on purpose.
Yeah, he kind of rolls the shoulders back in an attempt to try to calm himself and just sort of brush it off, and goes, when the general public, civilian like yourself, is ready to get the information, I'm sure they'll make it publicly available to you.
Well, I see. Well, thank you for your time. I just thought maybe, you'd have some information, but apparently you're not high enough up to know. Have a good day.
And I'll keep going.
During that conversation, I would like to keep an eye out to see if any of the other assembly members are like looking at us or, clocking us.
Yeah, make a perception check.
15? No, I'm sorry, 18.
18. You clock that there are a couple people that are just sort of seeing that there's a group of people around and watch Varnex walk up and have this quick exchange. It's definitely been noted, but no one seems to be actively paying attention. You do, however, notice that as Varnex turns, you can practically see the veins bulge on this guy's forehead as he has to basically swallow a massive amount of pride to not harass this random civilian that came up and fucked with him. As he walks away, though, he goes back and sort of turns around, and you have the observant feat now, right?
I don't think so, no. I just had the expertise and perception.
That's right. I was wondering why your passive was so high. With an 18, you can see that he gives some sort of order to one of the people that's clearly below him. They nod and turn to Tam.
They nod and what?
They nod and turn to take off deeper into the area that they've sectioned off, the
Gotcha.
collapse. With that, as Varnex, you sort of take off to leave him to simmer. You notice that there are a couple of people that are a fair bit of crowd that's collected themselves in this area. A lot of them seem to be just people that are interested in trying to poke around. A large number of people have already sort of filtered out as they've realized I'm not going to be able to learn anything, and it gets kind of boring after a while. The spectacle is worn off. But for a number of people, they're still sticking around for some reason, and you get a good idea as to why a few moments later, as you just sort of, you're an observant individual. You've taken the time to sort of watch this situation, and you realize that part of the reason why they've stopped and have taken their time here is that there seems to be a relatively large show of force from the Cerberus Assembly, as there are 3 robed individuals that have sort of resurfaced from the interior. As they do, there are murmurs within the crowd that the both of you can sort of pick up as people are talking about the folks that are walking out. Some of them don't seem to know too much about them, but the others that seem more informed are sort of giving a hushed whisper to one another. You see, or rather hear, as one of the younger looking individuals, scruffy patch of peach fuzz, maybe late teens, early 20s human kid, is pointing to one of the people towards the back, and is saying that I think that's the one. Kind of gives a bit of a shove to the side of someone next to him rudely. As you give a closer look, he does seem to have the physical regalia or appearance of to be a member of the where's the name? I've lost the name entirely. The school.
My school?
Yeah.
It is the Hall of Erudition, Solstice Academy's branch.
Yeah.
Dash.
The what?
The Hall of Erudition. It seems to be a student from that hall is standing there making a pointed effort to take note of one of the people.
So this kid, the human kid, is from the Hall of.
Yes.
Okay, it's not the individual he's looking at.
Oh, Kelly, you want to talk to this guy? See what he knows?
You, the two of you sort of overhear as he's talking to his friend, trying to seem more important than he is. He's already, you can tell by the way he's speaking that he's very much building together a lie. But he's pointing out, he's pointing out a person towards the back and goes, that is my current mentor of sorts. His name is Master Trent, Master Ikathon. He's over a large section of the more challenging aspects of transmutation and the augmentation of magic throughout someone's casting and abilities. He's sort of getting into this like really weird meta levels of magic, and his friend, a slightly younger, probably 15, 16-year-old half elf is sort of going, oh, we should go say hi, basically, and he's immediately brushing it off, like, oh, no, I'm sure he's busy. I mean, look at this is super full, and he quickly moves the conversation past to point at the two people behind him, saying, those are his elite. I am going to become one of those one day. They're called Voltstrucker. They are arcane. Voltstrucker is
Voltstrucker?
Voltstrucker.
Okay. Okay. I got it.
They're sort of like his right hand, the people working directly underneath him. And you see that the two individuals standing there, one is a wall of a man, not who you would think of when you think of a mage. He's broad-shouldered, dark padded armor, short cut hair, with almost a unibrow of sorts of just thick hair. His arms are covered in this almost carpeted fur. The other appears to be a slightly more wispy human with reddish hair, almost auburn, bright eyes, but looks a little bit more like a puppy that's been kicked. A little bit more meek and sad looking, as opposed to the more like brick house of a person next to him.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to assume that they work for the city and not the assembly. Or is the assembly still a part of the city? Are there sections, or is it?
Good question. So the assembly works for basically like the federal government. It's basically like having a bunch of magical FBI agents snooping.
Okay.
That's what I figured they were. They were like the FBI.
Okay.
The regular cops have been pushed out, and there's a bunch of FBI agents now.
Yeah, that sounds
right.
about accurate.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was assuming.
Cosmic
but
explosion happened out of
to...
nowhere in the middle of the city, and yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to get where the Cerberus was. So.
Is there anything on Trent for Dad to recognize that he's part of the CA?
Well, the kid is
Nope,
basically flatting out calling him a member of the Cerberus Assembly. He's saying that's like if you listen in on what the kid's talking about, he's mentioning that like this is one of the main members of the Cerberus Assembly. He's one of the leaders of it. Talking about how he's like a master in like this. He's the archmage of civil influence for the Cerberus Assembly. So he does like a lot of the cultivation and propagation of magic throughout the assembly. He takes care of people and does a bunch of this and that and the other.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go up to the kid.
Civil magic? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he's the cultivation of magic to people. Mm-hmm.
Sir, young man. Not to eavesdrop or anything, but I couldn't help but overhear that you know one of the Cerberus. You know him? Where would I be able to find him after today or so?
Well, he normally is in Rexentrum, the north. He doesn't normally stay in Zadash itself. It seems like this event was enough to have drawn his attention. I'm sure I could introduce you at some point. He's sort of playing it up for his friend still, but he seems very busy. It's much too bad of a time.
Are you from Rexentrum?
Well, I study in the Hall of Erudition for now, but Trent has taken a sort of a liking to me, and I'll be brought up into the Voltstrucker for soon, I'm sure.
I'm gonna do an insight check on him.
Sure, go ahead.
I would have to ask him his name.
And I got a 13 on my insight.
On a 13, he's not a good liar, is the thing. He seems awkward. He seems a little spindly. He seems you've met and run into a lot of green people who have not seen the front line. People have not seen what it is actually like to fight in a battle, let alone a war. This kid is kid's full of it. He's lying, like straight through his teeth. He probably does go to the School of Erudition based off of his clothing and his garb, but for sure does not know this man.
Okay.
He sort of spins on his heels towards you, Killian, and goes, my name's Ericil. But if you want to talk to Master Ekathon, I'm sure he'd probably be staying at the Hall of Erudition for the next couple of days. That is typically, or one of the other Tri-Spires, perhaps. Actually, I'm not sure which of the Tri-Spires he would stay, but I'm sure one of the spires would be important.
You appear to be very esteemed. We will mention your name if we visit him.
Oh, I would hate to bother.
It won't be a problem if we need to speak to him. We'll use you as a reference.
He is sweating. And it's not until the younger kid kind of steps in and goes, I thought it was really hard to meet with Drake. And where the other kid kind of snaps at him and goes, oh, well, yes, I'm sure if you were to use my name, you may be able to seek an audience with him, but he's such a busy man. You probably would be wasting your time trying to find him, but the best of luck to you. He kind of grabs the 15-year-old and sort of starts to sink back into the crowd if he can, if you allow him to.
I'll lay my hand on his shoulder real quick. And I will. I'm just gonna bless him. Let's see. What have I got here? What have I got? What have I got that I can do here?
Divine smite.
No. I don't want to do anything that bad. I don't want to do anything that bad.
I'm gonna go ahead and banish him.
I just
Super
want to. I'll just do bless. I straight up just gonna cast bless.
Such a nice guy.
No, but I'm gonna make sure he understands when I'm casting this.
My son, go with the word of whatever it is that you follow to know what truth and honor is.
And then cast bless.
There's a good moment where he's standing there.
But I want it freaking to where it's a glow and
as you do, his all the silver pieces on his sort of robed jacket begin to glow a light, and as he moves there's almost like an after shadow effect as he does, as there's just shimmering, radiating holy light off of him. He does sort of stand there for a brief moment, not fully sure what it is you're talking about whatever you believe in aspect, but when you talk about honesty and truth and shit, he kind of shoulders sink a little bit, he's not sure if you've caught him, but he quickly recovers and puffs out his chest and pretends oh yes, thank you, this is expected, and sort of tries this to play into the image that he's painting for this younger half-elf, and the two of them kind of slink away very quickly, led by the older 20-year-old just be all right, let's get out of here
before I die.
before this man comes back and ends me. As the two of them basically scamper off. But with this brief window, you see that the member of the Cerberus Assembly, still flanked by those two Voltstrucker, the Master Ekathon sort of walks out into a group and actually talks to the guy that you had just conversed with. He hands off what appears to be a couple of different pieces of parchment, and you can tell that he's basically giving him instruction, giving him papers to go deliver, more or less. And Trent then takes a moment, stops, and places a hand next to his head as if he's listening to something. You see him mumbling under his breath a response, and turns and tells one of the Voltstrucker to go some level of order, and he takes, now flanked by only one, as the darker haired man, brick wall of a dude, goes running off. Now it's just the scrawnier ginger kid. And he sort of scans the crowd very quickly, and you see Trent sort of clear his throat, and as he does, the voice gets loud all of a sudden. He goes, "Attention, people of Zadash. We understand that in this time it is quite interesting, the events that have been taking place here. We do promise that we will be giving you answers as to what has happened to your fair city as soon as humanly possible. Until then, rest assured that the Cerberus Assembly is doing everything that they can to uncover the cause of the collapse and to ensure your future and continued safety. Should you have any questions or information about what may have happened here, please do take it to the Hall of Erudition. Find Master Oramed Haas. Inform him of what you may know. That information will be sure to be seen into the right hand. Any information that leads to actionable results, actionable clarification as to what may have caused the collapse here today, will be rewarded with a lump sum of 100 gold pieces to the individual who has provided it." And you see there's a murmur amongst the crowd. They basically offered like a shit ton of money for information. And as that murmur dies down a bit, he sort of waits for that to disseminate through. He seems, based off of the people that you've both interacted with, he seems to understand, at the very least, how to manipulate a crowd. He doesn't interrupt. He allows them to sort of feel the weight of the amount of money he's offering. Low in comparison to potentially some of the sums that you're expecting, but to a commoner, that's a year's pay.
Gillian, you want to make a quick 50 gold? We could throw Bo under the bus and report that we saw Bo coming out of the rubble.
Oh, did what she could to save my life. I'd rather not.
Huh?
Okay.
With that, as the murmurs die down, he continues and goes, "Again, we thank you for your continued cooperation. And as we continue to search through the rubble, we will do our best to return to any surviving heirs, heirlooms, prizes, keepsakes, and anything else of substantial value. Should you or someone you know have a claim to any of the property within these few blocks, please do go. Please do find your way to the Marrow Keep. You'll be able to collect whatever it is that you can claim and show proof of ownership of there. Alternatively, if you or a loved one owned property in this area, provide information along the deed and we can provide you your funds there as well." And with that, he sort of allows the crowd to take in that information. He takes a step back, allowing the alteration he's made to his voice to die out before he turns towards the last person. Though there is still a little bit of that arcane reverberation as you hear that he turns and refers to the young man next to him and says, "Young widow, if you don't mind, I do believe that they are going to be here for a while. Post up with the captain, will you?" After he gives that instruction, the last bit of the reverberation and the voice dies. The spell he had been using to make sure that the his voice could be heard then dies. And with
Okay,
that,
so the captain's name was William?
the Volstrucker next to him, he referred to as young Master Widowgast.
Yeah, but then you referred to the Goliath captain as William? Is that what you said? Volstrucker's Widowgast, the young guy.
I think it was Will You or something like that.
Oh, okay,
Or
okay.
his name was-
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we
Will
don't.
I am.
Yeah, we don't care
Will I-
about Caleb. We don't care about Caleb Widowgast. What we care about apparently is the. Yeah, it's fine. The captain's what we really care about here.
For sure. Yes.
I do. I was writing both names down. I thought he gave the name of the captain too, so I would at least know it.
For
Huh.
yeah.
Young Bull Strucker. All right, there we go.
Killian, is there anything else you think we need to do here? Or you want to go work on your writing skills?
We should go and tell the others what we saw.
For sure. But I don't know where they're at, so I think we just wait till they get back to the inn and tell them.
To the stables.
All right. The two of you make your way to the stables. Killian, I'm gonna let you go ahead and make a roll to see how well you do.
I'm
Is
gonna
there anything in
assist.
particular that is there anything particular you're working on?
I want to have the horse become comfortable enough for me to approach it and ride it.
All right. Go ahead and roll animal handling with advantage, thanks to Varnex.
I got a natural 20 for 22.
It takes time as anything with an animal would. However, by the end of it, at the very least, the horse seems to have calmed itself around both you and hold on.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Gesundheit.
It was gonna happen again.
I know
The
how it
horse
works.
seems to have calmed itself around both you and Varnax. Beyond that, you have developed some sort of command word or call that you can make that will cause the horse to come to you. So you're able to, at any point, should you be dismounted, call it either with a whistle or a word, bring the horse, have the horse directed to come to you to pick you up.
All right, so
Killian, one thing that we need to understand with mounts, and if we're in combat, is they can't be afraid of each other either. Not just you, me, or the combat, but they can't be afraid of our mounts. So I'm gonna call my axe beak in, and we'll walk them together.
What?
My axe
The
beak.
actually,
Don't you remember when I did this?
I wasn't here.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. When I got my
This
spell to
one-
find steed.
So this magical beast comes in this almost ostrich-like creature with a massive beak that forms like an axe's face.
Hell
and it
yeah.
struts in after. It is another slow process, but considering that it is comfortable around Varnax, it is comfortable around Killian, and this beast seems incredibly well tamed as.
But it's
per
also
the
an
spell.
actual war horse, so it understands, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So we're trying
it's
to
a
get
war
his
horse.
to
It understands. It also has. It also helps that your axe beak is far more intelligent and is able to operate then with a little bit more care than a regular sort of wild beast would. And in so doing, it takes time again, but after another hour of walking around and riding astride next to one another, it seems as though the two animals have gotten to be copacetic. They may not be best of pals, but they don't nip at each other, and they seem to, at the very least, cooperate.
Yeah, his horse isn't going to shy if Axebeak kills somebody. I'm just saying. That's what we got to get to.
Yes.
I will feed my horse some hay and pat it on its head and just say, "Good work today, Eodin. You're a good boy."
I forgot you named it Eodin. You're a fucker.
I think we should all become
Um,
friends with Eodin.
So, I'll give him some advice.
Barley, apples are better if you want to give your horse a treat.
I will keep that in mind.
And then if you really want to give him a treat, sugar cube.
Cocaine.
I'll jot this down on a little piece of paper for later.
Not too
You
many,
put-
you'll get diabetes.
that in your
and you'll have
book.
to put it down, and that's gonna be a whole other
Doesn't
problem.
go in the book. It's not important enough.
No, if you
It's from Dances with Wolves. Put that in your book.
if you want to start writing your shopping list in your book there, Killian, I think you may be getting some word.
This Death Note.
Oh my god.
All the apples in a 5-mile radius rot and decay.
I'm not even gonna write it down. I'm gonna draw it, so it's just a bunch of cubes and apples in my book.
They all die of heart attacks instantly.
Um,
You got anything else, Killian? Because I don't.
No. But what I want to do is, whenever we decide to go to the stables and leave the stables, I just want to keep my head in a swivel to see if anybody's
Yeah.
following us or looking for us.
I mean, that's a given.
make a
I'm the
perception
same.
check, both of you, or
Roger.
one of you with advantage, either.
I'll let him, since he's got the thing, I'll help him.
Okay.
Because your perception is way higher than mine.
Got a +8, pretty good.
Yeah.
23.
Pretty
23. You have been keeping an eye out, and for the most part, you haven't seen much. And it's not until the tail end of your riding session, your Varnex has come up and has started giving you pieces of advice on what to give the horse and how to reward it for exceptionally good work. You know, an apple here and there, things like that. And that you're a little distracted while he's giving you this information, because over his shoulder, you see a sort of wire thin, young looking dragonborn, green scales down the side.
Okay.
Is sort of keeping an eye on Varnex and you as you're walking around. He seems, for whatever reason, a little interested in the two of you. Killian, if you could make either a deception or a performance check, and I'll allow you to do this with advantage, in order to hide the fact that you've clocked this person.
Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing. It's 21.
21. Your eyes dart over enough to sort of take note of the individual, and you were able to bring your horse around in between you and them. And so as you are brushing the mane of the horse and taking care of it in a general sense, you're able to look in that direction without looking suspicious. And in so doing, you're able to get little glimpses of this person. They seem to be green-scaled, young looking. You're not super familiar with how Dragonborn age, but looks to be early adulthood. They will look to be a dark, sort of verdant green, almost black eyes. Though their scales are more of a light green coloration. They are keeping to themselves. They sort of set themselves up on the end of what looks to be like an outside sitting area, attached to a lower income tavern, just something that the people in the poorer sections of the city are able to go and eat at. Seems to be more of like a laborers section. There are a lot of people who work with their hands, the farmers, the masons, the lower paying jobs of the city. They've found their way to this section. He's hiding amongst them. You're able to pick him out because he has no visible distinctive like musculature, and he for sure does not look like he has been working a hard day's labor. Everyone else is sweating and look to be like they've just gotten off of their 9 to 5, and this kid looks like he's walked out of a library. And so he kind of sticks out amongst a bunch of laborers. And as he's sitting there, he's keeping an eye on the two of you as you are going around, and he seems to have what looks to be a small notebook that he is jotting things down in. But every time he glances up, you have positioned yourself in a way that you're still brushing, or you're still sort of talking with Varnax, and so that you don't get clocked by him in return.
How far away is he?
At this point, about 150 feet.
All right. While covered up by the horse, I will quietly let Varnax know we're being watched by a green-scaled dragonborn, and just like gently nod in the direction that he has been sitting.
My face will just go flat. I'll spin Buckbeak, and walk him, and see if I can see the individual in the same nonchalant way that Killian just was.
Don't make it
Mhm.
obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's looking at you. Don't look. Immediately.
You rotate as well and do the same. Roll a performance or deception as well, also with advantage. You're both kind of helping each other out with this. The fact that you're
Deception?
together in
They're just
conversation.
dancing on
God
there.
damn it, why
Whether
can't I
it's
do
deception or performance?
persuasion or intimidation? I'll do performance. I got a 16.
He does not seem to have clocked that you are looking in his direction. You see there's a brief moment where as you're turning around, he kind of tenses a bit in anticipation of being caught, but you play it off well enough to where he feels as though he's still in there.
All right. Do I recognize him?
You do not.
So he is not the Green Dragonborn from my dream.
Thinking back on it, he looks a little bit too short. The
Okay.
Green Dragonborn wasn't strong in any particular manner, but he had more confidence. He had more of an air about him. This kid looks meek, like he's
Sure. All right. I'll confer with Killian.
Do we want to try to catch him and see who he's working for and what he's up to?
Yes, I'm not letting another young adult
Correct.
get away from me.
Huh?
I agree.
You know the kid at the inn, how we let him get away?
Oh yeah, I guess that's fair.
The guy you captured?
The guy that I spotted and then we broke it. You broke his hand.
I did,
Yeah,
and
we,
healed
we
it.
cornered him. We let him go.
Is there any way to like that I would be able to like hide and go around him? Like if I had to go like around a building or something, but come back around him, like behind him?
I mean, I can
there
stay out in the
are-
stable and keep him occupied.
Yeah, because I can like if I could try to like sneak my way around somewhere and just kind of like get behind him.
Actually, hey, just say you got to go take a shit,
That is one way.
and then
loudly announce you gotta take a shit.
goddamn, all this work. I
I
gotta
got
go hit a dump.
I say it loud enough for a man 150 feet away from me to hear that I have to take a shit. Just
There's nothing like saying I gotta go take a shit. You know.
I'm just gonna
Mean-
run while like holding my region. Just
Okay, you don't need to be that bad.
It's
you,
Lincoln.
It's not like, oh god, you don't understand.
with your passive perception, Killian, you can tell he's sort of sitting on the corner of this outside sitting area. If you were to go around, you could probably sneak up on the side of the building where he's sitting at, and you'd have to like almost reach in to catch him, but you'd be maybe like a good like 10 feet away if you went around that side. You just have to find a way to get out of here that's not conspicuous.
Yeah, going to take a shit. Not
That is
conspicuous.
an option if you'd like to go for
I will keep walking both
I'll
horses,
pass.
one in each hand.
I'll cast Pass Without a Trace and kind of stick to the darker areas, and I will make it look like I'm just kind of walking off casually.
You walk off casually as if to go like you pick up some of the stuff that you've been working on to like go return it or whatever. As Varnax does another lap around. Varnax, as he's doing this, you as you're doing these laps, every so often you're just by the nature of walking in a circle, you catch him in your vision, and it's you're able to do so in a way that isn't suspicious in any way, because you're
Right.
of course gonna be looking in a bunch of different areas. And you see that as Killian has walked off, he does not seem to have really noticed Killian. Killian, please go ahead and roll a stealth check with the additional +10.
So he is 1000%
Um,
watching me.
He's watching you. He does seem to, as Killian has walked off, and it looks like Killian is bringing stuff away. He looks like he's slowly wrapping up what he's doing. He's not like picking up immediately to leave, but he kind of gets the sense that you guys are probably about to leave as well. So he's slowly making it so that he's paid his check. He's packed up his bag.
Yeah.
He's just taking his sweet time so that the moment you're ready to leave, he's ready.
21.
21. Very good.
Nice.
You leave the stables. You're able to go down and then around the long way, sort of slipping through one alley around the back of the tavern-like area that he's in. You are approaching on the other side. It's been a good 5 minutes, so he's wrapped up. He's got his bill paid. All of his stuff has been put away except for that one notebook that he's holding on to, just in case. He seems to have it ready in case something happens, but is holding on to it. At this point, he is getting a little curious as to where you've been, because it's been a minute. You now are standing sort of at the side of this building. You peer around, you can see him there. He does not seem to have noticed you at the corner of his eye. He's about 10 feet away from you.
Before I get into range, because it's only 120 feet, I want to cast the message spell with the earrings back to Varnax and let him know I am closing in on position.
I'll go ahead and, once I get that message, walk the horses into the stable, and then come out and start making my way towards that little inn.
And at the same time, I'm gonna pincer from the other side, and if he tries to run off, I'm there.
There is the briefest of moments as you go away. He tucks his notebook away, ready to leave. He sits there waiting, and as Varnax leaves, he looks like he's about to stand up to just sort of follow. But Varnax, you don't walk away. You walk directly towards him, and as he does, he begins to get a little bit more tense. And the moment that he realizes that you're not going just down the road, you're coming directly towards him, he goes to turn, and immediately as he does, he jumps over the fence and is directly face to face with you now. Killian, he's just, oh, sorry, I need to be going now. And tries to slip
Not yet. And I'm going to, if he tries to slip past me, I'm just going to body block. So I'm just going to shift over however he's shifting.
Roll an intimidation check, please.
I like those.
So do I.
That was a natural 18 for 23.
With a 23, you sort of, with one step, impose yourself in the middle of this alley, so that either way, he is going to be within arm's reach of you. He cannot get around you without you being there. And as you have done so, you sort of lower the weapon a little bit, just enough to make sure that he's aware that you're willing to fucking fight him if you have to. He sort of chuckles a bit and goes, I believe we have a little bit of misunderstanding here. And he takes a step back towards the street where Varnax, you've now closed behind him and pincered him off. And he sort of turns around and sees you, and his eyes grow wide for a brief moment, just enough to let you know that he for sure was looking at you specifically, and backs up a bit and bumps into Killian and is now pincered between the two of you.
I am going to make sure that my armor is smoldering like a some bitch. I'll pull out my bottle of Boundless coffee. Take a drink of coffee.
Well, now.
And I'm going to speak only in Dragonborn.
Oh.
Well, now. Who have we got here?
The answer to that question depends on you, friend.
Oh, I don't think we're friends.
We could be.
We'll see.
He
What are you doing?
He looks over his shoulder towards Killian and goes, "Is he friendly?
Is he
Tries
what?
to give you- is he friendly? He's trying to give you a knowing look, but if you'd like, you can roll an insight to see if you understand what he's trying to convey with that. But otherwise,
Oh, is he asking me if Killian's
if
friendly?
Killian is friendly. Yeah,
He's as friendly as I am.
he seems both concerned and confused, like he's not sure if you understood his meaning. And so what he does is he reaches into the other breast pocket, the opposite one that he had put the book in. And as he does, he sort of pulls out what looks to be a small pocket watch of sorts. But as he flicks it open really quickly, there seems to be two different clasps that open. The first one that opens has a symbol of Bahamut, but as he clicks it again, a second one opens up with the symbol of Tiamat. He just sort of holds that up for you to see and closes it real quickly before sticking.
Why has he got both?
You gather it's for deceptive purposes. If he's with someone who is morally good aligned, he can flip open the
Okay.
Bahamut. But if
Yeah.
he's around actual friends, he can show the Tiamat.
No, he does not know. None of my party know. They suspect, but they don't know.
And then I'll look at Killian and I'll be like,
We're not gonna kill him. And then I'm gonna say, you and I still need to go have a chat in Draconic.
There's a brief moment of that confusion going to slight panic, and then he's very quickly tries to hide that of like, oh shit, I didn't know that was on the table. And
oh
closes
no,
it
that
up.
was 100,000% on the
Yeah.
table of
He
dead.
closes the pocket watch real quick and slips it back into his pocket and just sort of straightens his jacket. Very well. Where would you like to chat?
Do they serve good ale here? You were here quite a while.
He kind of grimaces a bit and goes, "No, but it's her."
Then we'll
I
have
would
another.
offer-
Go ahead.
I would offer my someplace a little bit more amenable to us, and he sort of taps his breast pocket again. But if your friend does not, that seems
He'll be fine. Killian, you're gonna learn something today that you can either choose to keep secret or do with as you wish. I care not. You know that I have a mission and that I am a paladin. Just you don't know who I'm a paladin for. So you do with the information what you will.
And then I'll say to Indraconic, he can be trusted.
Aww, look at.
the kid nods and says, "Very well. Follow me." He will slip off. He does his best to get like as much of a lead on you as you will allow.
I'm gonna ask his name first.
He stop. Right.
Because I assume you know who I am.
Sort of roll an insight on that. He'll name himself, or he'll tell you that his name is Cartha.
I got
You gotta learn today.
a 16. What's his name? What did you say his name was?
Carthel.
Do you like archives?
Aar''THEL.
AA. I spell it like Carhartt, but Cart Hell. It's fine.
As he,
Carthel.
what was your insight?
It was a 16.
16.
Yeah.
He seems to know you're someone important, but he has no clue the exact reason as to why, as far as you can.
I will stop him, put my hand on his shoulder, turn around. I will reach into my armor keep it palmed.
Mhm.
Pull out and do this, and then put it back
Hmm.
and say, "She just gifted me that."
Sort of looks at it for that brief flash, and his eyes stay locked there where you've tucked it back in. Right. He sort of mumbles that he wishes that they would tell him. She turns on his heel, and begins to lead you throughout the lower half of the city. Eventually, you find a small, what looks to be a cobbler of sorts. The shop itself is called the Kobold's Claw, and the claw is spelt with a K because alliteration is everything. He, instead of going into the shop itself, he goes around to the side and takes his hand, his draconic clawed hand, places it on the wood and scrapes down the side. There's like a digging into the wood that causes this nasty sort of grinding noise. And as he completes a gash about 4 inches long, he lifts his hand up and the wood slowly knits itself back together and then swings down as the basement opens up beneath you. He just sort of gestures for you to go in first.
Killian, seriously, trust me, it's okay.
If you
And
say so.
I'll lead. I'll walk right in.
I'm going to push this guy to walk between us, so I'm behind him.
You go to push him to do so, and he sort of resists for a moment, scans you up and down, rolls his eyes, and follows in. As the three of you descend, you walk for a good 2 to 3 minutes, just down, 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 counting maybe 100 steps or more. And as you reach the bottom, it is a long, dark corridor that goes down to a archway at the end. And on the interior, you see the lights of fires flickering across the floor. As you march down, there is a familiar sensation that washes over you, Varnax, a cold presence, an intensity. And as you make your way into the room, there is a massive stone altar that appears to have multiple different almost pedestals on it, 5 different, each one in a different chromatic color. And as they all rise, the 2 on the ends are the shortest, the 2 in the middle are a little taller, and there's one in the middle, a red altar that stands above the rest. As you walk in, the room is seemingly empty, though there are curtains off to the sides that indicate that there may be some sort of passageway behind them. And as you enter in, Carthel sort of takes a step to the side, allowing you to enter in on your own, as he basically keeps his back to the back.
I'll ask Killian.
Killian, wait here a moment.
I'll go to each of the small altars and place a silver on each of those. No, copper on each of the smalls. Then no, wait. What are the colors? Because I don't have black. Maybe I do. I don't think I've got enough. I can use my kit. I will put offerings on all of them, but I will do the 2 smaller, the 2 middle, and then the last one first, or the largest one last, and kneel and pray. Pull out my amulet and reinfuse myself with her presence.
As you
and
do,
I will leave it out when I get done and come back and talk to Killian.
Following with that imagery, you take 2 copper, you place them on the furthest out. On one side it is white, on the other side it is black. You take 2 silver, and you place them on the next 2. One of them is blue, one of them is green. And with the last, you place a gold on the one in the middle, the red that stands above the rest. As you do, you close your eyes and you feel this hugging sensation as the moment that you go into a place of you sort of kneel down into a place of submission to pray, your mind is immediately taken over and drug into your subconscious. Killian, you watch as Varnax barely gets his knee down on the floor and his entire body sort of lurches forward as he almost, it's kind of like when someone's nodding off to sleep. It's like he nods off and goes directly down to sleep as his head just sort of limply lays there now. Varnax, your mind is drawn into this space and you find yourself standing in a familiar area. You stand on a platform of jet black onyx that is raised above a floor of smoke. Around you, the blue, the green, the white, and the red. And in this, there does not seem to be anyone else standing on any of these platforms at the moment. You are here alone.
All right. My mistress, we have found a spark. As you know, your guidance would be most appreciated.
As you send that out, the smoke beneath churns a slow fashion as eventually they're almost like a plug has been pulled. The smoke begins to swirl down into the center of this 5-cornered room, this space that you're in. As it does, it goes into a funnel at the bottom, and down below, a fiery rift open down into what you can only imagine is the home of Tiamat herself, the first plane of hell of Vernon. As you look down into it, you feel a presence more than you feel a conversation, than you feel words. It's more of a series of compulsions, a series of questions posed as thoughts and emotion. And you feel curiosity, wariness, intrigue. And then you finally feel a proper voice as one of the head has drawn attention to you. And it says, "The spark. We remember whisper, call, conversations from long ago. What do you know of its nature?"
Nothing, my lady. We have not learned anything. We do know that it is aware. We know that it is powerful, as you're aware. And I got the sense that it is old. It almost feels the same as if I'm in your presence now.
There is a intense heat as a second head draws its attention, and the second one speaks. "Surely you mean as when only one of us is paying attention."
No, my lady.
You would imply that this thing is as strong as I am?
No. But it seems as celestial and old. Nothing is stronger than you.
At the call of Celestial, a third head turns. You feel sort of the tension in the room rise. The closest thing that you would get to goosebumps with a scaly hide comes across as just a chill down your spine with all of the attention focused on you. And there is a brief moment where all the rest of the room seems to begin to glow as the different pillars are giving off their an aura of their
Mhm.
elemental prowess. And in that moment, the third head does speak and says, Spark. Celestial. Celestial spark. We remember something. You feel an intense anger as it rushes out. There's something about this. She recalls the word, though she does not remember why. Whatever it is, it's like the entity itself has been removed, blocked from her memory. There's a rage that builds and then dies. You will learn. You will report back as a gift for what you've learned so far, for bringing this to us. We'll give you guidance. And that sort of aura, all of them die out quickly. The mist goes back to its original state. You stand in this room, empty, alone again, but you see the images of the other four begin to flicker into existence. The red still hidden from you, the blue still hidden, the green also hidden. You see their vague outlines and shapes, but the white, you see a flash across the face as they give you what he looks like truly, as a little gift and a nudge in a direction. You see the white-scaled dragonborn stands at an impressive 7 foot 6 in height.
7'6"?
7'6". They wear across. Mostly, they do not seem to wear much in the way of clothing, but they wear what looks to be pelts instead of proper clothes. Almost as if they've draped a white saber tooth over themselves as a means of showing their ability to kill.
I got his name, didn't I?
You did.
Okay, could you remind me of that? Because I don't think I wrote it down. I think I did.
That's the wrong note.
Yeah, I'm trying to find my notes on them. The white hand. Got a lot of notes here. Dumacrest.
Yes.
Okay, there we see. Look at that. Look at that, mister. I took some notes.
Snooky smiles because it's the baseline of any adventuring campaign to take notes, not that it's an impressive feat.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
It's literally your job.
No, I know, but I'm like, oh, look at that. I actually did something right as an old dude. So now I know what he actually looks like, right? You're actually giving me his physical description. I don't know what any of the rest of them look like.
Right.
I just have the general. Right. I know what their armor looks like. I know what their weapons are. You gave me that little general information. Okay, so now I'm getting crystal clear information on him.
Correct.
And guidance that this is my first target.
At the very least, because you have found this one first, she's gifting you the ability to hunt him easier.
Right.
And in so, beyond that, you see there is a scar that runs from just above the temple on his left side down over his left eye, and it crests at about where the snout takes shape next to the nose, so just above like where the sinuses would be, or just below where the sinuses would be. That scar is deep and is red, and it seems to have never quite healed properly. And the eye that it has been crossed over has gone white blindness.
So he's blind in his left eye, assumedly. Okay, good.
He is incredibly muscular, and the thing that makes you take a special note is that on his side, similar to you, is a blade, a taunt.
Okay. All right. I will say my thanks and normal prayer and come out of prayer.
Before you pull yourself out, make an insight check.
Insight check. Golly.
It checks for days.
I got an 11.
11. You don't get a lot from just the general once over of his person. But you do get one last thing. You watch as you go to leave. There is almost like for lack of a better term, it almost comes across as like an idle animation for him. As you are retreating out, you see him sort of bare his fangs, raise his hands up to his shoulders and scream in a just angry rage.
I'll just chuckle. I'll just chuckle.
With that, Killian, you watch Varnex's head snap up to attention as he comes back into his own body. The kid next to you has been watching sort of hesitantly, and Killian, you've noticed, and it's up to you as to what your plan is here, but you notice that he has pulled out a large dagger from his side and is sort of pressing it against his own forearm, trying to hide it a little bit from you, but he just seems to be watching intently and waiting.
I'm gonna pull out my ball
Mhm.
and just look him right in the face to acknowledge that I've seen what he's done.
So this is while Varnex is still under. He sort of looks at the order is given. Have to follow through. God's order. He just sort of looks at you with a bit of a wry smile. But as you whip back, Killian, you see what almost looks like a pout go across his face as he slips the dagger back into his, into the side of his pant. As he's almost disappointed that Varnex came back. And as Varnex wakes up, you notice that the money that you've laid out has burnt away, and you sort of stand and feel that presence as it's pulling away from you. It seems hungry for more, but is, as of so far, pleased with your efforts.
I'll spin around, look Carthel in the eyes.
Were you worried? Did you think I was a false pretender?
He waking up one morning with information that you are supposed to follow someone around is never a fun order. It was more of a matter of how she wanted me to interact with you. He kind of gives a squint, looking you up and down, and says, "You're not one of the.
I didn't hear the last part, like you cut off.
You're
You
not
clipped
one
out.
of the five.
I
All but
am.
you.
And I am the one. The
Sort of-
only one.
He gives you a bit of an eyebrow raise, looks over towards Killian, looks back at you, and gives a slight nod of like respect, and will pull the dagger back out, and hold it out, sort of palm first, or hilt first in your direction, as you like walk up to leave, and says, should you need anything from one humble servant of the Scaled Tyrant to another, you need only shatter the palm.
Shatter the pommel and he'll be there?
Or something.
Okay. I'll accept it.
Carthel, here's also what I need from you. 1, thank you for showing me this place. I will grace you with her intentions. Are you prepared?
As ready as I'll ever be.
My mission is to kill the others. To be the one. I am already on the hunt for the white. She just gave me clarity. Any white claw that you see in this city, bring me information on. I want to know if there are any more white claw. Their
Out of
leader.
stock, sorry.
Huh?
Out of stock, sorry. We don't carry that
Yeah.
bougie shit here.
Yeah, oh, I got you. My God. I didn't even put that together.
If I was looking for a
Um,
hangover in the morning.
Yeah.
Should he find any of the ivory claw, he will look.
Is it the ivory claw? Okay.
we-
I thought
we
it was
a
white
step
claw. Why
up.
did I? Yeah, white claw, ivory claw, whatever.
The symbol is that of a white, like,
Yeah,
dragon.
yeah.
Totally the same thing.
Yeah, ivory and
Um,
white are the same thing.
He nods and says, I will gather up as much information as I can. You know.
Are you in need of anything?
He sort of looks around the temple a bit, and it is pretty big.
And are you the only one here?
Right now? Yes. There are more within the city.
Are you maintaining this temple?
As is my role.
All right. Here. This is so out of character. I'm not supposed to do it, but I'm going to give him 10 platinum.
His eyes kind of grow wide at this as you hand it over to him. He closes his hand around it, looks you dead in the eye, gives a bow of respect and appreciation, and says, to add to her hoard.
Always adding.
And then I'm going to look at Killian.
Questions?
No.
Ask now.
You mentioned before that someone may need to be harmed. I'm still okay with this.
Lee Carthel told you death was on the table.
He just sort of nods to you and turns his back for the first time, actually, like fully turning his back to the both of you, and walks deeper into the temple, sort of pulling aside one of the curtains and disappearing behind it.
We will go back to the inn.
All right.
And seriously,
Killian, you can let the party know whatever you wish, or keep whatever you wish to yourself.
and I'll put my amulet back in and hide it away. Why are you laughing?
She's very giggly today.
I don't understand. We've got some serious shit going on and she's giggly. I get the White Claw comment because I'm an idiot, but
No.
She was just out chatting with her sisters. Like, so much fun stuff.
eating some chocolate chip cookies.
You'll never guess what I divined today.
As the
I
two
don't know.
groups make their way back to the common meeting place of the tavern,
Wait,
You
before we do that, can I send a message and ask them to meet us at the Pillow Trove instead and tell the guards to let them in and describe what Killian and Steph look like? Or Killian and Dad look like?
with the nature of the passes that you need to get into the Tri-Spire right now, it would be easier to just meet up with them and then go through as a group. But you can
Okay.
easily do that if you'd rather go to the Pillow Trove.
I do, yes.
I'm gonna also thank Killian for spotting him because that was very fortuitous.
I will just
As-
nod.
As the two groups meet up and begin to make your way towards the Tri-Spires, you are let in thanks to Cassandra's note passage, and you make your way over to the Pillow Trove. For those of you who have not seen the Pillow Trove before, it is probably one of the most ostentatious places that you've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
It is a marble structure with a cylindrical appearance in the front, which is turned into a sort of blocky building towards the back. As you ascend the front steps leading up to the arched doorway of the inn, there are gold and purple pillars which hold up various sort of walled sections of the Pillow Trove. Entering into the foyer, it is well lit by candles resting on hooks on the wall, and a beautiful semicircular desk on front. You can smell that it is heavily perfumed with lavender and other poopery. As you walk inside, the
Super.
Yep. Lots of toilet.
You mean
stuff.
potpourri?
there's
He's going to kill me now. This is
Meteor
fine.
Falls.
Yes, yes, he does.
there's the same person that you would have seen the day before, the sort of mid-30s elven woman behind the desk, with what appears to be a set of reading glasses that are more so for show than anything else, as the eyes seem sharp even behind it. And as you enter in, there is a large section of that of the Pillow Trove who's had their sort of ropes cordoned off. These pillars that are sectioning off different sections of the Pillow Trove itself. There are sort of velvet, almost like VIP ropes that have been set out to prevent someone from just casually wandering in. There doesn't seem to be a large security presence to it, but it is, as they seem to think that putting up those little guards are enough to dissuade people.
The fancy folk.
Most people that enter into or stay at the Pillow Trove aren't going to actively counteract the suggested closed section. But as you walk in, she sort of looks up and recognizes you from the time that you've spent here thus far. Sort of looks over the shoulder at the motley crew walking in behind you, gives a curious and a bit concerned glance at some of you as you look a little bit more rough and tumble. Specifically, mostly concerned with the massive dragonborn and the half-orc that does not seem to be blinking behind him. But then just sort of turns quickly back towards you, Cassandra, and goes, I suppose all of these are with you?
Yeah. Is there like a private room that we can have dinner in outside of my bedroom? Because I'm cool with taking everybody up to have dinner up in the bedroom if needed. But if there is a space to have dinner here, then it's private.
they-
that would be-
Pull out a book and say, well, as you are aware, you're staying in the general suite. The general suite does have its own sort of kitchenette area. However, if you're all looking to stay, I would say that the general suite, considering there's already 3 people staying in it, likely would not fit all of you. We could upgrade you all to the lordly suite or the diplomatic individual or invitational suite, but those would dramatically increase the price. Alternatively, we can offer you a second general suite if your she sort of looks over the group again. Entourage would be comfortable with something like that.
No, they're just gonna have dinner with. They're not.
Understood. We don't have meeting rooms per se. It's more
That's super.
kind of
I'll just take him up.
sure. She sort of nods to all of you as you enter, kind of taking a note of all of you. Just in general, what are your demeanors as you're entering into this place?
Yotev has stepped foot into the fanciest place he has ever stepped into in his entire 40 years of life as a goblin. And he's kind of taken back for a sec, a little anxious, because, you know, he himself is not very wealthy. And he's like, wow, Cassandra, you really lived the high life here. Are there like waiters like walking around with like an hors d'oeuvre or two, or like little things or something? Not necessarily because it's a restaurant.
Walking around with hors d'oeuvres or drinks, and more that there are people that like to take. It's more like there are people taking them up to specific rooms. You get the sense that this is.
It's more like a hotel.
Yeah, it's a little bit more hotel.
Gotcha. Are there like, is there like a lobby, like sitting room with like fancy chairs and like a table?
There's a sitting area, though you basically walk in and it's more of a performance hall, if anything.
Okay.
Musicians, it's kind of like a jazz bar basically, except not jazz. It's like it's like a light classical trio, or like a piano and someone singing, or the like. It's more of like a high scale upper class bougie motherfuckers.
Okay. Yotev will make himself comfortable by finally like getting into like a schwanky place, being like, someone will clean up after him. He like walks over to one of the chairs that are there, probably like if there's a comfy like big like tall like sitting chair and like a low table, he'll plop himself in, kick off his boots, and like recline back and just be like, this is life of luxury, friends.
We're going to my room. Could you wait till we get to my room?
Is there anything like sitting out?
We're all together again now, right? I'm sorry, I had to go to the restroom.
Yeah,
like
there's a ton of stuff sitting out. There's like small like bowls of what look to be like mints or refreshments. There's in the main area there are little not necessarily sending stones, but almost like indicators where you can tap on something and it will light up and it will show that this table would like to request service. It's a way of doing it that is subtle enough to where it's not going to disturb the music. And on and around
Damn automated waiters.
In and around those, there are tables that have leftover plates of stuff where you can see like there's a tiefling, probably early 40s, that's going over to like clean one of the tables, and there's another one off to the side that's still waiting to be cleaned. That's got like bits of bread rolls and fruits and cheeses still lying out, like a half-drank thing of wine.
All right, so I'm kind of tiny, but the mints that are by this person, I will see them and I will message Yotev and I will say, did you want me to get you some mints?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Bring them over. And some of that really cinnamony smelling stuff, too. Referring to the potpourri, but he doesn't realize that it's potpourri.
Yeah, so I will try and locate that as well. And I'm going to cast Mage Hand. And I think this is the first time that I've ever done it. and I recently learned of probably the most amazing and also horrifying thing that I want it to be. I just sent it in chat. Have any of you guys ever heard of a basket star?
Is this gonna be scary? I'm not gonna play it. I'm just gonna let you.
It literally
Basket
says
star.
scary videos.
No,
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's not a scary bit. It's like if once you see it, it has like
No,
a
it's
mouth.
like a-
open.
What is that?
It's like
Yeah,
a
it's-
living seaweed coral thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I just learned
that's
of
creepy as fuck.
That's
So my
cool.
hand will appear, and dead center in the middle is where the mouth of the basket star is. And then each of the long branching things, so like when it goes to like grab the like
Like a
the
starfish.
bowl, it'll like curl and like a bunch of the other tendrils, like because it has like fingers like a hand, but then it's a bunch of like fragmented pieces that branch off. They all like start curling around it too. We'll like pick
It's like
it
got
up.
extra grippers on it.
I like
Yeah,
it.
like a lot, and it will like hold the bowl, and like some of them will like kind of
It's a
dip in and like
starfish.
kind of.
Yeah, but it's a
It's a-
different
It's like a
kind.
It's
weird
a-
mix of a starfish and a octopus in a weird way.
Yeah,
It's
so
as
it,
if
like
Hercules cut off every
And I-
limb of
yeah.
the starfish and it grew 6 more heads in each place.
exactly right. So as
No, it
it,
looks
like,
good. It
does-
looks good. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, so like the hand will have the bowl, it'll like scoop it up, and like the little tendrils will like kind of come in, and some will like flick out little mints as it's going because they kind of have like their own thing, but it'll bring it to Yotev and just kind of like I'll take
The
one
whole
from him.
bowl or just like a hand?
Just a whole bowl.
The whole bowl.
He said, yeah, he said bring him the
as
mints, so I
entire-
did.
As the entire bowl starts to float off, the lady behind the counter is like sort of still pretending like you're not there. Like you've come in with someone who's staying here, so she's just sort of paying you no mind. The air of privacy that aristocrats tend to prefer. And as the bowl lifts up, her eyes kind of dart up for a moment and slowly pan over towards where the bowl is floating. She gives like this weird look at the hand that's taking it, but bites her tongue and goes back to what she's doing and pretends like nothing is happening.
Because
And
that's what
as the
she's
bowl-
paid to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sigh very loudly and be like, "You guys, get upstairs. Stop. Get upstairs. Put your shoes back
Oh,
on.
dude, I'm just got comfortable.
Get upstairs.
No, we're
Stop
gonna
it.
sit here for a moment.
No, upstairs." And I'm
Is there
gonna
at least a
shoot
bath
them.
or shower up there? Yotev has not
If
even.
you would just move, you
I'm gonna-
would be able to go up there.
I want to go to the.
Fine. Yotev is
I want to
gonna
go to
take,
the
like,
proprietor,
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
lady there, and ask her.
Do you have a small glass? I have a question for you. And do you serve coffee?
We do provide coffee, either pour over, espresso, latte.
That's some fancy ass
Let me try one of your espressos, and then
I'm gonna take my coffee out, take one of her cups, pour some in, and see if we can replace. I want to test her espresso, see how good it is. Replace my coffee with hers, and see what she thinks of mine,
You're gonna drink a espresso?
bro.
Oh lord.
Bro,
Man, it's gonna be
Wait,
jittery
does
the
Bornax
entire
have
time.
ADHD? Because if he has
Yeah.
ADHD, it's not gonna do anything.
He's he's hyper focused. This is
So you pour the cup there, and she sort of looks down at it and looks back up at you and says, "If you like, the espresso can be sent up to your room."
no, you're misunderstanding. I want to test your espresso and see how good it is, to see if it's better than this. So please try this and tell me your thoughts.
Oh, you want me to?
Yeah, I would like your opinion.
Is there alcohol in it?
And
No.
I'm gonna continue to sigh and apologize profusely and be like,
This is
I need to
perfectly
have a
acceptable.
conversation, but just get upstairs. We cannot
To
have a
Yo-
conversation
to
at your
Yotev,
place.
I'll just say
Coffee is
this is
important.
probably why she's late. There's so many
She,
things to do here.
I know. Yotev knows. It's crazy. There's so much. And listening to the music, it's quite relaxing. Cassandra, you sure we have to go upstairs? Like, they're playing wonderful music down here.
Could you just?
Do they play
um,
music upstairs too?
Oh, fine. Yotev will pick up his boots in his one hand, still walking barefoot, and
Shoes on, Yotep!
and scoop a handful of mints and shove them all into his mouth. Start crunching on them.
Oh my Jesus. Yo.
It's like cold and spicy at the same time. It's quite good. Yes, you should try, Cassandra. It's a good time.
That's
It's cold
You're
and
walking off.
spicy.
There's like little
Just-
bits of mint that are falling out, little bits of drool at the sides of the corner as you've put too much in, so you can't fully close your mouth anymore. And she,
Talking around
the
that.
lady, the lady at the desk is like, right. She takes a sip of your coffee and just sort of pauses for a moment and says, it seems to be more akin to our pour over than it would to a to the espresso, but the espresso
Yeah,
is
but-
going to be
I've been drinking
Much.
this for a long time, so I'm thinking I need a little more kick.
So I'll sip her espresso.
Oh, that's good.
she kind of goes over she talks about like the notes, the
Oh, yeah.
under flavor, talks about how nutty it is and the extra elements to it.
Got a
and
very good acidity.
yeah, she's trying to like sell it up a little bit.
So here's what: can I replace the liquid in the thing with their espresso to where it's always that?
More than likely, it would require someone with arcane practice in tinkering to augment it. So you may not. do,
Yotep,
you may not.
Yotep, I have a job for you. This is my coffee.
Mouthful of
Put your shoes
pepper.
on. Walk upstairs. We can discuss it in the brew.
Cassandra,
Cold
be
core
quiet.
feels good on Yotev's toes, so we're doing this way. Yotev
This-
either stay here or we go upstairs and Yotev still may be afoot.
Yotep, this is a never-ending coffee urn. It's got coffee in it. But this espresso is much better. It needs to be in this urn. So I need you to tinker it and replace it.
Espresso.
I give him both.
Drink the coffee first.
You should probably drink water to clear the mint.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's super
And,
hot.
It's super.
he'll like
hot.
hock a loogie real quick onto the floor to clear his mouth and take a sip of the
I
espresso.
swear to God,
Oh,
I'm going to murder all of you.
yes, Yotev knows what you want for that one. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Aiden, where are you standing in all of this? And Killian.
Aiden looks very concerned.
I'm gonna press the digitation all the things and just continue to apologize and continue to try to shoo them upstairs.
I think I'm just like absent-mindedly following and not really paying attention as I'm thinking about the things that we just studied about.
Okay. What about you, Killian? Or yeah, Killian.
Yeah, I'm just kind of absent-minded as well. Kind of watching all the hilarity ensue and just kind of just sitting there amused but not showing it.
So as you're watching, you do note that she is sort of taking. You notice she's doing what she's paid to do, which is give privacy and not say anything. But you do note that she's marked down in her book certain extra charges that she's placing onto a room. You get the sense that that may or may not be the room Cassandra's taking you all up to. She's just like quietly noting an espresso charge and then a charge for what looks to be like 30 mints that have
30
been
minutes.
consumed.
They're not free.
They're free, but there's free with an asterisk.
Yeah, but if it's a bowl
Wow.
that's out, it's like the bar peanuts. You just keep
yeah,
filling that
real.
It's
You
it's
just
like
keep
the,
filling that shit.
it's like the room
Bougie
mini
ass.
fridge. Yeah, the room mini fridge is always
Walk
free too.
upstairs.
No, I didn't
Yeah.
say that.
Is there
Bar
a mini
peanuts.
fridge in the
There is
room?
for sure a mini fridge upstairs.
1000%. I'm going to check out what's in it.
Well, when we get up there.
It's effectively like an ice box.
Yotep,
that they
can you
replace the
replace-
ice in every day? And there are drinks inside, as well as some like frozen treats and stuff like that. And then the bar has liquor and snacks as well.
Is there one that I
and
might
things
not have
that-
had before?
Oh, for sure. There's stuff that actually, you know what? Give me a second.
I'm gonna ask her where she sources her beans to, if she knows.
Actually, yes. Give me one
Eberron.
moment. I can look.
I mean,
that
if
up
she
for
knows
you.
if she knows the tasting notes and all of that, if she's experienced enough, she should know where the bean source is.
They've been consensually harvested.
Also, Garçon, if
Garce.
since we are going up to the room, apparently, if you could fetch a bottle of the finest Hupperdook whiskey that you have.
You're paying
Charge it
for
to the
it.
room. It's fine. It's fine.
No.
Charge
absolutely
it
not.
to the
I'm not
room.
paying for that
Yes,
room.
we must party. You know, we're reunited
Absolutely
again.
not. Do not charge it to the room. If he wants it, he can pay for it himself. We're not. That's not what I brought you here for. You don't get to do that. I said we could have dinner. Cool with paying for dinner. Do not take advantage when I'm trying to do something.
That
nice.
is dinner.
No, Ted. Absolutely
is-
not. I'm not paying for it. My parents are. Is that okay? You can ask them if they'll pay for it, but you don't get
Fine.
to just stay charged to
Pencil
the room.
jar.
That's
Pencil
completely
Hupperdook
unacceptable.
whiskey. Fine.
I brought you here because I cannot have this conversation with you at the regular inn. So walk upstairs so we can have a conversation and stop.
All right.
Now.
Jeez.
She is pissed. Do not charge it to the room. Pay for your espresso. Absolutely not. Walk upstairs.
I believe you need to watch your tone
Not
with
charging to the room. No. My parents pay for this.
Yeah,
That
mom,
shit is
mom and
not-
dad's
Fancy
credit
rich
card is gonna
parents, you
cover
know.
it.
I don't know what it's like to grow up on streets, Cassandra. Oh.
I'm just gonna smack you upside your head. 0 cares. Go.
Anyway,
Absolutely not.
Yotev, you understand what I want done with the coffee.
Yes, absolutely. We'll get to work on it as soon as possible.
So she does give you that the coffee is it sorts from the from Marquette.
Marquette
it is,
or Arquette?
Yes. Marquette.
Marpet.
Marquet. It is black sand.
Ooh.
Black sand
um,
coffee?
Yes, black sand coffee.
Because it's really good.
The let's see.
I spent the entire last campaign looking for black sand coffee. I found it.
I'm sorry.
That's where it
Yes.
was. I knew it sounded familiar.
Yep.
Oh my god, I love it.
Lo siento.
Because I believe, Yotev, that what's in this is just army grounds. And it's, just plain. But this stuff is phenomenal.
You're gonna be so fucking jittery, dude.
Real.
No.
You don't understand. A guy who drinks, and I drink a lot of coffee personally, but a guy who drinks that amount of coffee, okay, on a daily basis, espresso is not going to do anything. Sipping on espresso throughout the day, not going to do anything.
I mean, I can tell you, as a person with ADHD, it does nothing for me. But I think that any regular person, I don't think that you acclimatize to like a fuck ton of just pure espresso on a regular basis.
I bet I could, because I drink, me personally, in this house right now, I drink at least a pot and a half coffee a day.
And to that, I would say that's it.
Yeah, but that's an awful lot.
I got 2 extra espresso shots in this, and this is my 9th of today.
Yeah.
So normally, I think people only give the warning of please drink responsibly when talking about alcohol. But I think at this point, considering the levels that are being talked about, please drink responsibly. I just want to throw that out there.
Please, no heart attacks from the amount of espresso that you drink. You will end up getting hurt.
I'm just saying, we go through 3 bags of coffee a month from Black Rifle, so
It's kind of ridiculous.
I need more coffee.
So for you, Yotev, there is a it'd be the upper tier.
How much did each one of those mints cost, just out of curiosity?
Oh no, he's absolutely paying for it.
That's cute.
You know what? We'll just take that. We'll take that off of the late fee that we had for the last battle that we were at.
What late fee?
The late fee that Cassandra had.
Oh
Yeah, 'cause you didn't
There
show
you
up.
go.
It evens out. Yeah, we're good.
There you go.
No.
There is a
Cute Yota paying for anything other than supplies.
That might not. She might not even be paying for that. To be honest with her, her parents might be might be an expense item on the list.
She knows all about her parents paying for shit. Okay.
the whiskey that you're given, Yotev. You
No
recognize
offense, Michael.
as
No offense.
a whiskey that is very commonly served in the Blushing Tankard, which exists within the city of Upperduke. It is one of the upper tier residents. It is a place famous for a competition referred to as the Hour of Honor, which is just an hour of drinking.
How much is a bottle?
The bottle itself the whole bottle looks to be priced at 15 gold.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's a lot of
For
gold.
alcohol, that's a lot.
Comparatively to
I'm
like
also
what I have in my
very
inventory
impressed with someone
currently
who
with
actually
59
thinks
plat.
it's
Oh wait, do I have 59 plat? Is it silver? That's plat.
So for reference, you take a quick glance at the rooms as well as you're looking at the price. The amount of money that the sisters are paying for the room alone is 10 golden. So this is a night and a half worth of their lowest tier room for that whiskey.
Oh.
You also take a look at the others. The next step up is 20. The uppermost, the diplomatic suite, is 50 gold a night.
Yotev would like to very quickly, like investigate that bottle of whiskey to find out the look at the age, and like year that it was, and see if it's actually worth the value that they're charging for it.
Yeah, make a
Just out of his own curiosity.
make a straight intelligence check.
Sure, absolutely. Woohoo. That would be a 22.
It's a little expensive, but given the cost of having to import it,
Mm.
it kind of works. They're definitely upscaling it by you'd say more than likely you wouldn't pay more than 10 gold for this in Upperduke. You certainly wouldn't pay more than 12 here, but 15 for like the rich of the rich, that kind of makes sense. Like
And that's
they're
their low
upcharging it a
end.
little bit. Yeah, they're upcharging it a little bit, but for
Because
sure
it's being sold to the rich folk.
Yeah, but see, here's the
and
thing you gotta take into account too, Yotev, is that's just to buy the bottle. If you bought it by the shot, they make even more.
Absolutely.
They make
Absolutely.
you imagine they make a shit ton off of that bottle if people pay by the shot. But they also seemed to up the price a little bit with that in mind, knowing that most of the people here aren't going to buy shot by shot. They're just going to buy bottles.
They're gonna buy the bottle, yeah, because this is
Yeah.
not a shot for shot like place. This is I'm buying the bottle, taking it to my room, and enjoying it for the weekend.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah,
You mean for the meal?
yeah, for the meal, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Yosef's
then
gonna put the bottle back down and just hand it back to it. Be like, Yosef has had change of heart.
all right. She takes the thing back and sort of presses another one of those little or taps another one of those little circles that light up to indicate someone to come and take them. But with that, you finally eventually make your way up to the room, and that we will reconvene after a break into the room.
Sorry. Lady had to sit there. Aw.
Cleanser.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Factual.
pre-dinner mint.
Very
Also-
factual.
It's gonna end up where like, oh, what would you like? Oh, I'll take the steak. I'll take the fucking rack of lambs.
Obviously,
and
if daddy's
whatever,
paying,
like, other.
if sisters are paying for it,
I don't even have dinner.
Oh, also, Caleb. Afterwards, I need to. I just had a thought while I was outside about Arthel and the temple and the plat that I just gave him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can or want to do this, but basically, since this is the first one I found, I want to make this one my home temple
Okay.
and make sure that he is trying to recruit, do whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That he will be
Casual
placed-
outreach.
I mean, since
Oh,
she has
Varnic,
already told him,
Tiamat champion.
yeah.
since she has already told him to seek me out, not that he's my follower, but now he is.
Yeah.
He's gonna be my
Casual
servant.
recruitment
efforts.
You have
The
enough
one-
sway that unless she directly tells him otherwise,
Yeah.
you can kind of push him around a little bit.
No,
Again,
it's not just push him around, but I want it to be cleaned up. I want it to have whatever it needs, and you contact me with any of your needs. More people grow, you know,
Are
because
you
that's what
disappointed-
paladins do. Spread the word.
Yeah, are you disappointed in your current betrayer god? Are you looking for a new one? Well, I got the answer for you. Come on down to Tiamat's first and foremost temple.
located in a back alley behind a cobbler.
Yeah.
The
Brought to you by
Claw.
Varnax Terrascale.
Yeah. Yeah.
just-
This message approved.
This message was brought to you by Varnax Terrascale.
Yep.
Oh my
Evil mayhem, death, blood. Caffeine and
Terrascale
hate.
wants you to worship Tiamat.
God.
This is not on stream right now because this is fucking gold.
It is on stream. We're already live.
Oh, great. Perfect.
You understand? You understand what I'm saying, though,
Yeah, for sure.
because
Uh,
eventually, my goal is to expand my influence.
Sure. Of course.
As,
Right?
as far as
If
the
I,
base
if-
guys,
if-
if I am going to be the one, then all of them will know who I am.
I hear the betrayer gods have a lot of influence in mainstream media today.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care about mainstream.
They're
media.
favored by a lot of the top influencers on itch.
On
Oh wow!
Yeah, and ick. It's pretty big on ick too.
Yeah, ick.
Yeah, ick and YouTube.
Okay. So we get up to the room.
Yeah. You all make it up to the suite that has been reserved. The sisters are two of the sisters are there. Meriwether seems to be out for whatever reason.
Do they know? Okay,
right.
I need to ask clarified questions. Do they know about Spark?
No.
No.
Okay,
Excellent.
so we can't talk about
return
Spark,
back to them.
and I can't talk freely.
Yes,
They're fresh.
we can.
They're fresh for recruits, dude. You could bring these people on. The House of
True.
Tiamat.
This is your Jehovah Witness moment.
Yeah. Have you heard the word?
So anyway, Caleb, I can raise the tent in here, correct? I
Oh,
believe
sweet
you said
Jesus.
the answer
Yeah,
was yes.
it's small enough. The tent's small enough.
Perfect. Excellent. I'm going to say hello to the sisters, and then I'm going to just very angrily to the tent, but in the bigger form, and say, "Get inside."
It
What?
takes like Killian and Varnax have to sort of grab one of a table in the middle of the room and move it off to the side a little bit to make enough space. But the suites are pretty spacious enough so that you're able to easily like move a coffee table off to the side and set up in the middle there. And once that pops up, are the sisters going inside as well, or are you asking for privacy?
I'm gonna tell them that they can come in for the start, but that I'm unsure how the rest of this conversation will go. And
Why do
then
we
they
need
might
this
have to
tent?
leave. Rest.
Aren't we in this place because it's private?
Hey,
Yeah, but there's
Cassandra, who are
still
these
spies.
two?
Yeah, who are these people?
These are the people who raised me. It's, you know, my family.
It's a
this-
very progressive household.
Oh.
Very nice.
Thank you for the
this is not
espresso.
my house.
We'd
Our
like
house
to
is
get
broken
we'd like to
into.
get a bottle of Hupperduke whiskey, but
We don't-
Cassandra is very, oh, how should we say, a prude.
No.
Alright,
I'm just
well-
not okay with you charging stuff to the room without asking permission.
You said we were having dinner. We were going to pair it with food. It wasn't just for Yotev. It was for all of us.
Please just
30
let us
minutes in your
of the
fucking
tent,
mouth.
Please. We can have dinner after we talk, or we can have dinner inside of the tent. I do not care.
Fine.
The sisters will allow you all to have privacy in the tent. If you give the warning of like, you know, eventually we may start talking about stuff, they'll just be like, you know what, you take your time, let us know. We'll be out here. So as you all enter into the tent itself, you have a moment to describe what it is that the interior looks like. As they first walk in, what is it that the group sees?
So the very first room is going to be a hexagon shape like the outside of the tent. And you will notice that from the middle of the room it's divided into like triangles that are sectioned off. From the middle of the room is a little walking space, and then, or a sitting space, and then there's stairways that go up to each of the sides of the room, and then one that goes up the middle. So there's 7 sets of stairs. Each triangle very clearly looks like your little personal space. Like it very much is thematic to what you guys have wanted. So there's a little section for each of you, and then a stairway that is neutral that goes up that bends out to the rest of wherever this tent goes. And I'm just gonna be like, please just stay. This was supposed to be completely different. But some people. So, in this tent, nobody can walk in without my permission. Nobody can hear what we have to say in any capacity. And we can have a whole conversation without fear of anybody eavesdropping us, even though the sisters are sitting right outside. They can't hear a single thing that we say or do. And this has lots of other spaces that we can explore later. There's a library and a kitchen and a swimming pool and all sorts of other fun stuff for us to do. And this will be the really cool traveling home for us. And up each of those steps is your little personal room that you can have be whatever you want. You just have to tell me.
Wow.
I tried to tell you stuff the other night, but then we were being watched and I couldn't tell you. So now I'm going to tell you.
Before you start, Killian and I just found out some very important information
Cool.
about the spark. And it's something that I think we should know, regardless of what you guys found out. I was worshiping, and the sense that I got when I mentioned celestial spark was anger and knowledge of it. They remembered having conversations, but they don't know what it is. Like the memory of it has been removed. So, whoever imprisoned or captured the spark has the power to also remove that memory from the gods. Unless they did it themselves.
Have you haven't told us who you worship, have you?
No. Killian is the only one that
It's-
knows right now.
It's weird to me that your deity would get upset if you mention celestial. considering it would be good.
Not all deities are
Who?
good, Kenji.
I know.
You yourself are not clean of soul.
What? I mean, I wouldn't say that. I want to do good in this world.
I understand your intentions, but I've seen more.
Well, you entirely should not try and hurt people when their deity has a plan for them.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I'm gonna look around.
Yeah, where are we?
We're in the tent.
Right.
I'm
What
gonna
area
look
of the
around.
tent?
I'm gonna look at each person.
In the center of the main room,
Not going up any stairs yet.
there's a little sitting area that is surrounded by all of the steps. That's like a neutral ground that has, like, if you walk up, it's like a indoor little fire pit area, but without a fire pit, right?
It's a little den.
But there's
like,
each
kinda.
like triangle slivers that are each of the things.
That come off from the middle of the room that divide out to each of the sets of stairs that would very clearly, like, is kitchens and is fire.
Can my triangle move
No, yeah.
in color?
technically.
Okay.
You literally get to tell me what you want it to look like and where you want it to be, and it can be wherever you want. But it will. The entrance to your room will be from this first period.
All right.
Yeah. so
I'm gonna look around. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm gonna just move over to my thing. It looks like an inky, like kind of like a little bit of waves. But if you look at it long enough, you'll see like tentacles, like just like will like hit the roof of the floor. I'm gonna go over to that.
Yeah.
Wanna
So
look-
like in our little like circle area that we're sitting in, there's very clearly like this is a seat for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is your spot.
That's underneath it.
Yeah.
Where my seat
sure.
is. Yeah. I had to scroll back up for what I wanted. So now I have that handy.
All right. Varnix is gonna look each of you in the eye.
I think we've been together long enough that you should know. Billion, what do you think? You think I should tell them?
What if he says no?
I think you should, but it's entirely up to you.
I'll pull my amulet out.
Oh.
I am the champion of Tiamat. Not just, I'm proclaiming that I am a champion. I am the champion. And I have been tasked with finding the other champions and killing them. She is who I just spoke to about the spark. She was very angry,
So you're
but she
not
still
the-
did not know.
Yeah. You have to get rid of the other. And then you.
But I'm one of the 5.
So you're 1/5 of. Okay, you'll never understand. You have to kill the other 4. And then what?
I am her vassal.
Okay.
So, you know how when you were with the spark, you know how the little strangles like we have here, which, fun fact, was not intentional, but like the similarity. And half of mine was gone, you know. Super casually. That's because I am. I don't really know what I am. I don't know. The way I've had this described to me is that I am a star, but I don't really know what that means. And the Cerberus Assembly is hunting me, and the reason I left Zadash is because this one dude is hunting me specifically because he, wants to experiment on me and figure out what the fuck I am and all that good jazz that,
Ooh.
What's he look like?
Do I know what he looks like? I don't know that I've met him.
Is his name Ikathon?
It is, yeah, that guy. So,
We saw him earlier.
Great, cool. So the Cobalt Soul, wonderful bow, has offered to, help hide me from him, and because the Cerberus Assembly is here, I kind of want to leave as fast as possible, and leave, because I do not want her to find me, by any means whatsoever, because I don't really feel like I need to be experimented on to figure out,
Then here's also who you need to look out for.
And I'll describe the what you call them? The freaking
Volstruckers.
the Volstruckers.
Yeah, I've already got noted down. I added them.
So Yotev,
Ah,
the Ivory Claw that is after you,
right.
is run by one of the champions.
Really now? Well, Crane cracks his neck and knuckles a little bit. Looks like we have come an enemy, Varnax.
I'm sure you'd see it that way.
We also have a way to get up there real quickly with the Cobalt Soul. So I'm just saying, we could just,
Wait
We
a
still
minute,
need to
wait a minute.
figure out
How
the
did
spark.
Killian, Varnax, how did you two meet people from the Cerberus Assembly?
We saw
they've-
them.
Go ahead.
We saw them at the site of the incident of the
Oh.
collapse. They were returning from the ruins.
Oh,
They've taken over the investigation.
oh, that's
They have
not good.
They have the whole
Very bad.
area cordoned off.
Do you think there's any kind of magical residue from us going through? There probably has.
More than likely, yes. They
And
might,
we all got,
depending on
a lot of us
the.
got stuff. Oh.
But hold on though. Yotev isn't quite sure though what would be remnant of that explosion and attached to us, considering we were all affected by some way once we came out of the portal, coming back into this dimension when it
Right,
exploded.
but when that happened, and then we all got we got stuff.
Right.
But there were
That would leave a residue.
hundreds.
That would leave a
of
residue,
people.
but Yotev does not know if they would be able to track it to us particularly, because we
I
don't
feel
know
like
if that's
maybe
coming
some
from
of
us
that
or if it's
is
coming from
specifically,
Sparkling.
though. Maybe not all of you, but probably to me.
It's possible, but you also changed. Coming out of there, you changed. All of us changed. So any kind of residue that would have existed wouldn't match with if there were any records of you.
I don't know that that's entirely true. Like the essence of who you are as a person is still the essence of who you are as a person, and there is not anybody that I know of in this entire planet that has the same magic as me. Like mine is,
But you haven't met every single person in the planet.
but there's no record of anybody who has my like. We've searched that like this. I do not exist. I am not from here.
Right.
I am not of this planet in any capacity. So mine will be very different to literally everybody else's and will be a beacon even of by itself. Like just by itself.
Inji's not of this planet either anymore.
What?
What?
Whatever took him over is from a different plane.
I'm not
Oh, that's
I'm
what you
sh-
mean.
I'm
I'm
sure I'm
saying
fine.
saying
I'm
that
sure I'm fine.
not of this world.
So-
but, like planes of existence are still within this.
We're a very eclectic group.
Right.
And this one doesn't sleep. He looks half dead.
Well, there's also, the guy that was watching us, while we were at the inn the last time, super knows that we're all together, and because we are such a very strange bunch of people, it's very easy to put 2 and 2 together. He's only mostly.
Absolutely. Yotev completely understands wanting to get away from people who are chasing you, obviously. We all know what happened in there.
Yeah, you blew half the city up. No.
Look, that was a byproduct of different things, things happen, things blow up in process. It is a scientific method, So yes, Yotev agreed that we should probably move out of Zadash as quickly as possible. The only problem is we don't know where we're going other than Shady Creek Run, which is where we know the Ivory Claw is, which we could start heading that way.
We can get there much faster if we take up Bo's offer of using their teleportation circles. So we can save on a lot of the travel.
Is
at the
there?
very least.
They told us about where they could teleport us to, right? I don't think
Yeah,
there's
there's a
anything
whole list.
closer to
Yeah.
Shady.
There is one that is close to it that would get us, a couple days, a week away instead of whatever the trap. There's one that was close up there.
The closest is in Rexendrum.
No,
Just closer.
that's a bad plan. Don't want
I have
that.
things I have to take care of here first.
Oh? What's here? Can we help?
I don't think you can.
Is the white dragonborn here?
No. He's in Rexenborn. Or in Shady Creek.
Yes,
the
because
Ivory
he
Claw.
runs the Ivory Claw, you said, right?
Oh.
Yes.
What
Just
can
so
we
you
do?
know, I have to finish setting something up for my lady.
How long will that take?
Unsure.
Okay.
I can start now. What time is it, Caleb?
If you're going up there for dinner, probably like 6:30.
Yeah, it's like evening time, because we spent all
Yeah,
day in the
yeah,
library.
yeah.
There's
And we spent all day at the stables and doing my thing. So
Uh-huh.
first thing in the morning, I will take care of things.
There's still people I need to talk to as well. Hopefully I can do that in the morning as well.
Well, I assume that the Hall of Erudition is not safe for me to go to if Trent.
No, they are there.
So if the people you need to talk to are there, I'll be able to get you back in like I had been to today.
That's fine, I don't. There was one person there I wanted to talk to, but
You might be able to get in without me.
They're also they're saying for 100 gold on any viable information about the incident.
Oh!
They're offering a reward.
Cool.
That would definitely pay for the mints.
So that can get you in
well,
Wait.
if
So-
you want to go that route.
So if we wanted to provide information, per
That was
se,
viable.
viable information, they don't know what's viable. We know what's viable.
I'm thinking we give them the Ivory Claw and the room that you were kept in down there, as
Yes.
that they're tied into it.
You are right on Yotev's
One,
brainwave right here.
it
Yes.
distracts the Ivory Claw and makes them busy with the Cerberus.
Let's pit
At
some
least for
enemies
here.
against one another so that we can then
Yes.
get the advantage. You know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. We might be able to get the Cerberus on our side for a little bit, or we could get the Ivory Claw to be a false ally to us. But we could also just let them fight it out, and then claim the spoils of victory afterwards.
As long as they're not looking for us, I don't care what happens.
I don't want to go anywhere near.
You can stay here. I think Kenji and Killian and Yotev can go and give the information of the Ivory Claw.
I like meeting
And
new people.
Aiden could. Because you have the descriptions of the people who captured you, correct?
At
Yotev?
least the one person, but it is very complicated because they're a changeling.
I can help
So
with
they
that.
could look like
And the
any of them.
Cerberus can fucking seek them out.
Yes. If they have information about the Ivory Claw, it would definitely make it easier for them to be able to find things.
You're just going to have to come up with a reason of how you know this and why you think that's important to the Cerberus Assembly.
Yotev
Just so
could
they cause the
be
explosion.
honest about what they were doing. Because they are, in a roundabout way of looking at things, they are responsible for the explosion. If Yotev had not gotten kidnapped by the Ivory Claw, we would not be in sewers, running around and fighting weird slime
You know what,
creatures, and then
Yeah, we never really did determine what was causing the rift.
And all of the other rifts closed before we could investigate.
Right, because we closed the rift when we took the.
when we left.
No, we closed one of them, and the other one's also closed while we were there. But that doesn't mean that we're the cause of all of the other ones closing. Like, we didn't figure out what actually opened them to begin.
Sort of why I wanted to talk to Professor Tannel.
I don't think assuming that us closing one closed the others is good when they opened it completely.
Well, you guys need to figure out a way of getting some information to the Cerberus without incriminating us, so that they're not looking at us to be
No.
able to hinder the
A little
Ivory Claw
white
here.
lie about what they were doing could lead them astray. Let's say this. Yotev say that Yotev managed to escape from Ivory Claw, and whilst they were chasing Yotev, they did something, and that explosion happened in the square. Doesn't know quite what, but at least could point out to a
Right.
to a group to look towards and investigate. The only problem is if confronted and things are proven false, they then look back on us and we make a big enemy of the Cerberus Assembly.
Not
We
if
stay in hiding, they don't find us.
not if they
hell no.
not if we kill the Ivory Claw people and let them find the dead bodies.
But then who killed the Ivory Claw? The Cerberus Assembly will then look for the people who killed the Ivory Claw.
Will they even care?
Yeah.
Potentially.
Series of events this big, this magical, yes, they'll care. They're
gonna want
gonna look for
compensation
everything.
the city being destroyed.
Then I don't know that doing that is the best.
I don't even think they want compensation, Yotev. I think they want the power.
If we want to go track down, take care of the Ivory Claw, because if the Cerberus Assembly follows us to
Yes.
not Shady Creek Run,
Yotev also
we're at
would
the
like.
same point of like I can't be there. as
Yes.
we are here in Zadash, so I don't know that that helps us.
Yotev also would not want to. With that also being said, do we really want to continue to so deeply associate ourselves with the Cobalt Soul, with the Cerberus Assembly out looking for you?
Well, you know my thoughts on that. I don't care. I'm
The
not
Cobalt
going
Soul
to.
will help protect me from them, and will help hide me from them, and will help transport us around the world. So I don't think allying with them is the worst.
More so in the city, do we necessarily need to let the Cerberus Assembly find out that we are working with the Cobalt Soul so
Oh,
closely?
no, absolutely not. They shouldn't know that at all.
So then we shouldn't try to get to Rexingtrum from here. We should go on foot.
To Shady
Just
Creek.
adventurers leaving the city. I probably agree
Yes,
with
to
that.
head towards Shady Creek Run.
Sure, I'm fine with that too. I have zero cares on how we leave. Just leaving as soon as possible would be my. And if not, I'm probably going to use this wonderful new hat of mine and change what I look like and probably avoid y'all as possible.
Well, look, here is what Yotev proposes here. Varnax, you do whatever you need to tie up your loose ends here in Zadash. Anyone else who needs to tie up loose ends here, Aiden, you are saying stuff that you have to do here. Anyone who needs to tie up loose ends here in Zadash, we tie them up now. We tie them up within the next 48 hours, if possible. By 48 hours, we leave. In the meantime, Yotev will work on some inventions and work on some tinkering, some things to repay you all for rescuing him. Because he is very grateful. So if you have the ideas or concepts of something that you would like, Yotev would definitely like to be able to help whenever he needs to.
Well, you already know what I'd like. That'd be more than enough for me.
Easy.
Depending on Caleb's answer, I have one of two options for you. I don't know how either of them are going to work.
But mine's like even not anything game breaking. It's just
No,
roleplay.
Yotev would do that because he would also want one for himself.
Well,
Because you wanna break it down and do a coffee thing for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. How else is he
Yeah,
gonna stay up for the late nights working on shit?
So with that, why don't we start there? Yotev, how would you be willing to describe what your section of this tent looks like as you go work on it?
As Yotev walks towards his section of the room, did it already look that way, or does it like change into it as Yotev like heads towards it?
You have a triangle that looks like your. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
you're okay. The individual triangles that are sliced around the hexagon all look like us individually. Then there's stairs that go up to like what would be the door to your room, right?
Gotcha.
Your room is on the upper level. And then there's like windows and stuff around the bottom that don't see into the room outside, but see into whatever you want it to be. So they all just have like a green pasture with sun right now, like super basic. But when you walk up into your door will go into your room, and how you have described that to me, that does not need to be shared with everybody. But you can have your little slice of pie look as much like you want it to look, however you want. But your
Okay,
little
I just
slice-
wasn't sure if it already looked that way or if it's like transforming to look that way as we go to these corners right now.
It will have looked that way the second I had pulled the cord.
Cool,
Because
awesome.
every time I pull the cord, I make the tent, and I can change what the inside of the tent looks like every time we build it.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
For the sake of this and for the sake of simplicity, I plan on going around to everybody, and we'll say that it already looks this way, as if this conversation, just to not have to undo the tent and redo it, just to get the stuff up.
Yeah. Let me look at this thing I have because I have workshop ideas on Pinterest. Not a whole lot, but a bit. So essentially, as Yotev walks over to that tent, everyone would notice it kind of almost like it's a wood like shop cabin like building. There's a big center table that has some tools laying around, some pieces of paper with intricate schematics on it, and like some books off to the side with like a chair that's kind of pulled out for him to be able to sit in. On the ceiling above it is like hanging some prototype framework machines or things that inspired him, maybe things that weren't his, or things that were like from history that were made. Like think of like Da Vinci's flying machine, like that kind of aspect is like hanging there. Scattered across the walls are more schematics and blueprints. There's also rolls that like off to the side, cylinders that have different plans inside them. You'll see stations for like all the different types of tool working that he might do, for like a brewer supplies, a tinker supply, like tools, maybe a smith section, just things that are able to like be worked on for like his workshop. And particularly there is a window that if you were to look out the window, there would be a nice outdoor scene of like the midday, or like 11 a.m. ish time frame of Hupperduke. When it takes place, not necessarily known, but if when looking out it, you can see people kind of like walking on the street, like that had existed at a period of time or something, walking around, some kids playing outside with like little like doodads and toys and things, and then like at the entryway of the shop is Yotev's like industry logo, that is his workshop. So it's like a goblin head with like some gears and like a wrench sticking across it, yeah, that's pretty much it. If there's a doorway that kind of is there, if it's just open, it's open. But if there's a door, it looks like a shop door. Like if you were to look at a merchant like warehouse with like open bay windows looking into it.
I will make one slight alteration.
Yeah,
Instead
absolutely.
of a Da Vinci flying machine,
It
specifically,
was akin to it, yeah.
Yeah, specifically, Aiden, you would recognize it to be some sort of inventive creation based off of an Ashari skies. To
There
add
you go.
some actual in-world lore to it.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like what his workshop looks like. That's the pretty much the gist of it right there.
That's like inside your room.
That there'd probably be like a pocket door that leads into like another small room, which would be his bedroom, but that's for him.
It's sort of like instead of having a lobby or a waiting area, he's got like a full workshop and then his actual room in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And with that, why don't I know this is technically supposed to be for alcoholic brewing, but it just makes sense. Why don't you go ahead and make a brewer's supplies check using intelligence?
Okay. I need to check to see if I have a proficiency with brewer supplies.
You do.
Really quick. I do. Oh, cool. Yeah. Excellent. So that would just be an intelligence check. Oop, wrong thing. There you go.
But
Brewer
also,
supplies with intelligence, you said, right?
yes. I believe. Yeah. You have at level 6 tool expertise, so all of your tool checks have double proficiency bonus to it.
Tight. Awesome.
It'll be your intelligence plus
6.
Yeah, plus 6.
Awesome. So
Oh,
good.
sorry.
Okay. So that would be 13 total.
13. Ooh, not a great roll.
Not great.
you have you've taken Varnex's very precious magical item, and gone into your shop. You've taken the cup of espresso, now lukewarm instead of hot, into your shop. You start working on it. As you're putting things together and changing the alchemical elements of it, your 13 is easily enough to make a change to where you can swap out the old coffee for the new. There is, however, this small itching in the back of your mind that, like, I could do this better. And there's just that small nagging there of, like, a lot of the things that you've built, you get this small nagging from time to time,
Yeah.
where it's like, this is good.
I can make it better.
Yeah.
It's not
That
quite
al-
perfect.
Always unsatisfied inventor itch.
Yeah.
But
It
it is
functions and
now
serves its
a-
purpose, but
It is now a relatively accurate recreation. It is not perfect, but it's damn near close.
okay.
Always haunt him.
Yotev will take it was a thermos, right? He's like the
It's
that essentially is-
here's the description of it. I'll put it in
Just the brand Thermos on the front.
it's
Yeah.
Stanley.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, please don't make it a Stanley.
Where is it?
as
There's the
Yotev
description.
finishes as Yotev finishes, oh cool, awesome. Yeah, as Yotev takes the bottle, the metal bottle,
It is thermos.
he looks at it and he's like, he looks over at like his moniker that has like a little brand for it that he would put on it if he was satisfied, but because he's not super satisfied with it, he's not gonna put his branding on it just yet. But he will take it and hand it over to Varnex. As a quick thing, Yotev was able to put something together, given a little more time, and it could be perfect, it could be better, but this is what Yotev has for right now.
Oh, I couldn't give her a taste. You have to taste it out of the bottle. I didn't see the very last line. If you try to pour it out, it vanishes.
Huh?
Like you can only get the coffee from the thermos.
From the thermos.
Yeah, that's fair.
Minor.
Sorry,
You can hand wave it.
my bad. So it's done. I like the mark.
Oh, there's nothing on it yet. He didn't
Oh.
put the mark on it.
I thought you did. I thought you said you
No,
did.
he
It's not
said he
perfect.
would have if he felt it was perfect, but because
I'll drink it.
yeah,
What's not perfect about it?
Yotev like blushes a little.
What could you do better?
Just a little more time. Some things like, if it starts to leak at all, please let Yotev know, and he'll let.
I
he'll
upend it.
do that shit.
Nothing comes out.
It starts
Take a
to leak.
drink.
Okay, thank you.
This is perfect. If you think you can do better, by all means, please. I would be honored. But this is really good. You
The words
captured
are too kind.
you captured that black sand espresso perfectly.
It helped that Yotev had a taste. It would have been a lot harder had Yotev not gotten the chance to try it before. Thank you.
I'll put it back in my little storage area.
You're too nice.
With that. Don't know if anyone else has a particular reason or want to go to their rooms, but to not fully hold us off on seeing the rest of this for now. Aiden, in your room, as you sort of quickly go in to check to see what it looks like, what does your room makeup look like to everyone else?
Sure. So, as I am going towards my room. My little triangle is just kind of made out of brass, with like a slight cropping of ash covering it. And as I open my room, it looks kind of like a log cabin almost, just a singular large room. The first thing that you would notice immediately is directly across on the opposite wall. There's a large stained glass window. A symbol of
Ooh.
an Ashari.
That's awesome.
I'll get it to you.
This was an income gift. Fix that later. Along the right wall, as you come in, there is like a full-on map wall, like Minecraft style. Just, but as you look at it, you see it's able to kind of drop down and fold out to make a table where I can work on maps. And as I put it back in, it's able to rotate and give me different maps that I've created. Along the left wall, as you come in, is just a bar, nothing super fancy, but just bar style, a few shelves with alcohol on them. In the center of the room, there's a fire pit that seems like it has an ever-burning flame within it, with a semicircular stone bench kind of going around it, where if you were sitting in it, you would be facing towards the window. And then above the door, as you come in, against that same wall, there's a staircase that leads up to a loft that has just a simple stone bed with a bedroll on top of it. And there's a section of coals under the stone kind of built into it that can be lit to heat the bed up. And next to that, there is a writing desk. And you'll see Aiden just kind of go over to the bar. He'll mix a gin and tonic, and as he's mixing it, some of his spirits will fly into it and kind of make it glow a bright orange. A gin and tonic, if you will. And he'll go up to his loft, and he'll set that on his writing desk as he begins to write a note.
On to Varnax. What does your section look like?
Okay, the outside looks like a rough stone castle. Like, so it's just some basic stone wall with a very heavy door. I had this all written out.
It's in our DMs.
I know, but I'm gonna change it all because you're gonna think, okay, but here's why. What Caleb just described as Tiamat's temple here in the city, because of what's just now happened, that is exactly what you see when you walk into this room. Is that temple. The curtain off to the side is my actual little bedroom, and it will just have a simple bed and a chest, and that's it. Everything else is just that temple. So that I had it written off that in the master bedroom would be a secret entrance to a private temple to Tiamat. But now that I have outed and shown you all who I am, I don't need to hide it anymore, and it is there. So
Your bedroom
makes
is
sense.
still private. Like, you don't.
well, no, I just need a little cot. I was going to have a hidden temple of Tiamat off of my
And no one knew
bedroom.
it was there.
Right.
It's
Now I
basically
don't care.
Tiamat Recruitment Center, like HQ. Oh, above your door says Tiamat 2021 or something.
No. Let's not go crazy here. But what it is now is because of this now becoming my first sect. That is now going to be what my room is. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, awesome.
So
catch
I
that.
appreciate the very nice description that Caleb gave. So 4, my window, instead of seeing prettiness and rainbows and butterflies and the meadow that is there now, it is the boiling mist that was under me as I stood speaking to Tiamat. And every once in a while, it might glow orange.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that's
your
what it
window
is.
can be whatever. It doesn't matter.
From there, I'd like to move on to Killian.
This I got.
What's a
The
dead
outside
man
look-
need with a bedroom?
So the outside of it looks like just a normal door. There's nothing fancy about it, but when you open it, it resembles the home which he woke up in, because that's the only home that he can recall. In the middle of it is just this long wooden table, no food present, but plates are set there. Surrounding is just these bookshelves that are empty. Nothing there, but at the head of the table, there is a large book sitting on the table, quill and ink on the side there, but it's a blank book. It doesn't resemble the book that he carries. It's a completely different book. He sits down at the book and looks at the front cover, and on the front of it just writes the word memories. Opens the first page and starts to write down some of the memories that he's recalled through some of his visions. Like the memory he had of his charismatic friend, and then another memory of a warhorse that he used to help tame this new horse. And as time goes by, he realizes that this could be a tool that he could use to start to organize his thoughts and what's been going on with him mentally. But other than that, there isn't really much else in this room.
As you finish writing these memories that you have, giving as much detail as you can, just trying to pin down the essence of it, you go and you close the book, and there's this weird moment where your mind almost expands outwards. And as you close, you feel almost a repetitive nature as various different versions of the same person close a similar book. And all of them are connected through this weird, strange through line of writing down what they can recall into a book. And as you do, the word memories scribbled on front that you've put begins to almost like has a shine or shimmer of glow across it, as if something important has just been placed here. This is a weird moment of it's like almost a deja vu, but it's a deja vu that happens like almost like a clicking of something falling into place over thousands of different timelines all at once. With that, mostly because I don't want to have to hear it yet, we're gonna skip Kenji and go to Cassandra. I'm delaying the inevitable as long as I can.
You should just rip the band-aid off.
Mine
and get
looks
it
very
done.
much like the tent has always looked, so it's not anything different than what you would have expected to see. Her splice is probably like the one that is directly across from where the door is, just to the right of where those steps are that continue off into the rest, so that it's still thematic. It's just a bunch of stars and space and nighttime. You know, the whole vibe that she's given this entire time. That was, not at all a clue that she would be a star at all. But it's all nighttime vibes. It's all purples and dark blues and silvers and crescent moons, sparkly stars, and all that good jazz. Super duper fancy. And then upstairs, her rooms haven't been decided because she was working on everybody else's, so it probably just looks like her normal tent, because she was doing all the rest for everybody else. And is mad right now. So I wasn't thinking that we would be staying in here in general. So it's probably not made at all because she's angry. But it's probably going to be similar and just bigger and more of like a very grand bedroom vibe.
You walk in, the place is set pretty similar to how you have always imagined it. It is larger than the place you've been in before, allowing for more room, more books, more tomes, sitting area for you to read. And as you're passing by that sitting area, you notice there's a book there that you do not recognize. It's the first time that this is the only thing that is in here that you didn't realize would be here. As you go over and you open it, it has on it, you open it up, and on the first page, it is a little note written, scrawled on it, from the three sisters. Just wishing you the best of luck on your adventures and many more wonderful memories to come. And as you open it up, each page is beautifully illustrated with different sections of your life. The moment you were found, raised in Zadash, you on your first day to the Hall of Erudition. All these beautiful memories fill up the first half of the book. The second half lays blank. You can feel an arcane magic to it that the rest of these pages can be filled as you go.
Look, I have a memory book like you. Jillian, you're right.
You don't want a Kenji memory book?
Fucking no, I don't. You're right. You're absolutely right.
No, I don't think any of us want a Kenji memory book.
I don't want a Kenji memory book.
It would look like a scrapbook, though, like a children's scrapbook.
Yeah, the moment he was found.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
All right, Kenji.
So
That's
I
not
change what my sliver looks like. It will look, my sliver will look black as night. And then little, etches of like, blue, like crystal a little bit. And then leading up to my area, there's not like a door. It's just, it looks like a rock wall. Like it's like a bit like a towering wall of rock. And if you look at it from like different angles, like the light doesn't really like reflect off of it, but if you just look at like a little different angle, there's a way that you can like walk into it. And all of the while there's like these little like veins of like crystal and like glowing blue. So when you get in, there's a stone table in the center, with 5 or 6 chairs. All of the chairs have dolls in them. A couple like 1 or 2 dolls per chair, ranging from like really expensive like marionettes, to like really like poor children's dolls made, from like what their parents could. But they all kind of have a place at the same table. And in the middle of the table right now, is like a stones game, that's just half complete. If you look into the corners, there's, the corners of the room, it looks like a cavern. And in the corners of the thing, it's still kind of like a square, but in the corners, there's like games and different things, that Kenji would play with or keep himself occupied with. There's very little light except for the blue that radiates from like these veins, the blue veins that go throughout. There is like a window or like a carved out section that looks beyond the room or the cavern. If you do look, it's very like misty and dark. It does glow a little bit blue. And sometimes if you stare long enough, there's a hand that will kind of like come up and like, it almost looks like it'll stop and then it'll like go down from time to time. It's never the same spot. And underneath the table, if you were to look hard enough, or if the light from the let's call it ore shone bright enough, you could see that's actually where Kenji sleeps. And there's one doll in particular there that looks a lot like the backpack he wears, but he makes sure that it's really close by at night. so that he can talk to it before he goes to sleep.
There is an addition I would like to make as well.
Okay.
Oh.
Because as you make your way into your room, there is an extra doll, one that you were not expecting. Looks like a strange stuffed doll. Like the head seems to be made out of a sort of plaster or ceramic material, but the rest of the body is stuffed. It looks to be a little almost kind of like a warrior-esque doll, but not really. There's stuff off about it. The head is painted green, almost like a half-orc, with a tuft of a mohawk pulled through. And armor, sort of like leather armor, but along it there are burn scars, almost as if it's been blown up in an eruption of fire. That strikes a interesting resemblance for you. You go to pick it up. You sort of walk over and place it down, and at the table amongst new friends. And as you do, there, out of the corner of your eye, you can almost swear that one of the other dolls turns its owl-like head to acknowledge the new.
You're new here, but we're all gonna be really good friends.
With, unless there is anything anyone would like to do tonight before going and taking a long rest. Yes.
I'm going to take everybody to the kitchen and the dining room where we'll have dinner. In the magic space that costs us no money to have whatever the fuck we want to eat.
You can have all the mints you want.
Yeah, you can have
Hell
all
yeah.
the magic food.
Hell yeah.
So I
I'll
go
take
up there,
50.
And I'm gonna be like, alright, listen. This is magic food. You can drink as much as you want here without spending any of our money. Don't spend money on the sisters' room. Don't do it. You want to get drunk? Get drunk in here.
To
And I
Yotev, that
show
seems
them
less
the
fun.
kitchen and the dining room that is just laid with like all of the good food in the world that I wanted to surprise with. Super duper. All the
There are meat pies and stews, steaks and lamb, and a full pork, the pig, that full pig, roasted pig with an apple in its mouth. Like it is
Oh, hog.
excessive, the amount of food that is here, and whatever it is that you want, you can just easily take and find here amongst the food, which is great for the half of you that eat. The other half sucks.
This feast is ass. Just kidding. Just kidding.
There's a small bowl of soup on the far end for you, Kenji, that is full of the souls of the damned. And then
Appreciated.
I don't know. There's
Wow, that one came really quick. Kind of concerning.
if there's anything else.
No,
For the-
I just wanted to make sure that they have food.
Okay. With that, you guys can go ahead and take yourselves a long rest, regain any hit points or spells or anything that you may have expended throughout the day,
Cool.
and we can get cracking on burning through some of these things you guys have planned for the next 48 hours before leaving the city of Zedak.
I'm not gonna leave, and with the exception of if I can do the
Did I need to
gold,
do
gold, gold great vagrant, I'm probably still only just gonna give Aiden.
Okay.
No, chilling.
I am absolutely laying low, and I am hiding.
You're giving me what?
Tetsuhilo. But
If you're wanting a mundane one, then yes, obviously. But if you're wanting a magical one, then no. Not within the time frame given.
how long
Um,
would it take?
It would take a couple of days. At least more than 48 hours.
How long would it take? I mean, I need to find what's the best long range communication devices.
Sending stones.
Okay. And how long would those take? Are there any available in the city?
There are a lot within the city. Depends on where you want to go to procure one. For example, Umat Soul would be able to create one, but it would take him time. Alternatively, you know that the Cobalt Soul has and utilizes a lot of them. You may be able to get a pair from Bo, if you ask her for one.
All right. I need a pair.
Okay.
And then I will go to Bo and ask her in the morning. That'll be part of the thing because I need to have a conversation with Carthol.
Okay. We'll go ahead and say that she's able to provide one, but she will need at least a partial compensation for it because she will be giving you both, meaning that these are effectively the Cobalt Soul is effectively writing it up as a loss. So she's going to ask for 50 gold for it.
That's fine.
Okay.
50 gold. Easy enough. Easy enough.
Did you have something, Yotev?
Oh, I just wanted to see if anyone wanted to roleplay that dinner out at all. Like any conversation that was happening before we like move on to like doing the grind work essentially.
I don't think so.
I'm here if you want to talk about it. Always.
There's only something that Yotev, I think, is thinking about bringing up to the party as a conversation that can happen anytime between now and the time that we leave. So if we don't want to do it right now, we could do it. We could like hold off on it.
I don't care.
I'm done. I'm done with the conversation.
Yeah, I think we're here for the conversation. I just don't think we have any.
The tent was so that we could have whatever conversation we wanted without fear of literally anybody coming.
Well, this isn't necessarily a private conversation, but you know, this is the first time that we're all going to be setting out, all of us together. You know, we were in Diastock for a little while and did some things in the area, but you know, Yotev got separated from the group when you all first did your trekking, and if we're going to stick around together for a while, which Yotev would be more than happy to at this point of the game, we should consider what we're going to call ourselves when we're out and about as a group.
Hadn't even thought about it. Do we even need a name?
Wait, I thought. Wait, my name's Kenji though.
Individually, yes, we all have names, but what are we when we are all together as a collective? There are heroes and adventurers existing all across Exandria that end up going with notoriety. Vox Machina exists, like, in this timeline, right? Like, the Vox Machina that Darrington had talked about. They're an adventuring group. The Darrington Brigade itself is a guild, but a group of adventurers, and they call themselves the Darrington Brigade.
I wouldn't really call them very good.
Right. And if we're going to be better, we should probably have something that people will refer to us as. When people are looking to hire for work, they should know who to look out for.
You should know who they are going to call. Ghostbusters.
Perfect.
They could
No.
they could call us Death Incarnate.
I don't know if many people would want to hire.
Oh, true. Friendly Death Incarnate.
Edgy, you're always wanting to make friends. How about friends with benefits?
That seems like the wrong kind of business as well.
Yes, the marketing is not quite there.
We might not get good clients.
The Nighttime Companions.
I was thinking we've all been touched in some way by the spark. Maybe there's something there.
The
Such
Touch.
as?
Yes, yes.
We could call ourselves the Touched.
No.
We could hear Yotev out. So for the most part, there are some interesting key themes that connect us all and what we're doing in our adventure. Either hunted or doing the hunting. There are memory fragments that are lost. Aiden, I'm not sure if there's anything in particular. You haven't really said too much about what your grand adventure lies ahead. But you know, myself, Cassandra, and Varnax are all being hunted.
Oh, I'm
Killian
not being
and-
hunted. I'm hunting.
It goes both ways. In your case.
This is true. So, if we want something around the spark, we just take the spark out and ask if they have an idea and maybe circle back to it. Because honestly, I don't think we're gonna need to know going to Shady between now and then. Like, Shady Confront is not very large place that it would be something that we need half the time between now and there to be able to come up with something. But we could just ask Spark, wanted Spark, or
That's not a bad idea either.
and like bringing the Spark out here should be relatively safe. But then we can like brainstorm it here in the couple of weeks while we're traveling. I don't think it's something we have to decide here. I think we should decide at some point, but I don't think it needs to.
Let's think about it for sure. Keep it in the back of your minds, everyone, and we'll bring it to the table again in a couple of days.
Do we wanna
Let's see
ask
where
the
we're at
Spark?
then.
The Predators.
What was it you called it? Doll abusers?
Oh yeah, dog. No. No. That happened
The
to
original
me.
one I had was Deastock Rejects. That one was fun.
The
The Daring
Brunch Collective.
The
What was that?
Brunch Collective.
The Brunch Collective.
Brunch Collective.
Yo, 2.0? I get a
Got a
weird-
beat now.
Or unfortunate soul.
The Spark Hunters.
the friend group.
I think we can figure out something better later.
A side tangent on this, when we were looking to do the name for the faction, I asked ChatGPT to come up with it, and I was like, think of a clever name for a group of friends that like to play Pokemon Go, and it came up with Pokepals, and I instantaneously wanted to reference that here, but that makes no sense.
Nice.
I think we can figure it out.
Adventure
Engie and the
time.
crew.
NG's comrade.
Yo,
You could just shorten it to K comrade.
yes. all.
Oh,
coming
but
together.
Yotev and his disciples was not good. Ugh.
Oh, we could make it the Bachesters.
What does that mean?
The Batchesters. Bat chesting?
Don't have any idea what that is.
The guy. Oh my god. I'll put it in the chat. Killing me, Smalls.
Well, I'm old.
It's
It's
a Twitch
still
reference.
have access to the internet.
Just because I have access to the internet does not mean that I look at the dumb shit that you look at.
This is bat chesting. Also, Persai's last name.
I also did not know what that meant.
Really? Oh my
What the
god.
fuck is that?
It's the
Nice.
it's the guy that bat chested. Whenever he gets excited with himself, that's what he does.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
We'll put a pin in this, and we'll discuss.
Put a
later.
pin in it. My God.
Yo, we could just name ourselves. Put a
about-
pin in it.
So Aiden, you had stuff for the morning, right?
Yes. I was going to go back to the Cobalt Soul to try to meet with Sean Gilmore.
Yes. Yes, you were, weren't you? Additionally, for your shopping thread stuff, what was the? I don't think I understand the question.
Typically, the +1 would be 500 plus the cost of the armor. I gave 500 gold and the base armor, but I don't know if they would have traded that at 1-to-1 value.
Honestly, because you're doing the full upgrade, they probably will, because you're
Okay.
spending 500 gold there.
Okay.
So that's fine.
By the way, what I just posted in chat is my crest. That'll be important when you get to me.
So for Aiden, you make your way over to the Cobalt Soul. Actually, you and Varnex make your way over to the Cobalt Soul. Varnex, you're able to split off and get Bo's attention to go quickly grab the sending stones. And as you do, Bo also grabs Aiden and directs you over to a section. As you get in, she lets you know that Gilmore should be here at any point, and eventually there's a poof of this thick purple glittery smoke almost as someone teleports into the Cobalt Soul, and opening the door, you see a ostentatious looking older appearing to be human man, darker skin with dark hair that has turned into almost, it is salt and pepper hair that is leaning more towards the salt version than it is the pepper version, but still some streaks of black in it. A long goatee that just sort of goes down and into a almost braided thing down to the just above the sternum. He is wearing some thick sort of padded robes to keep him warm, as well as each finger has a different sort of ring attached to it, gold, silver, platinum, all over each of the fingers. He has a golden chain down across the neck, and is wearing the most fluffy looking comfortable house flippers that you've ever seen, as he just sort of struts into the room and goes, you're young Master Aiden, right? The one I was informed I'd be meeting with this morning?
Yes, he's Sean Gilmore?
Yes, just Gilmore would be absolutely fantastic. Have you ever sort of paused and looks you up and down? do you have anything on your person that would make you obviously Ashari in any way?
I probably
do,
have
uh,
a, I probably do have a pendant similar to the one that I showed.
So he does some quick scanning of your person. He's doing mostly like a quick inventory of the kind of things that you may be interested in, as like a cursory glance of he is first and foremost a sales. But he does this cursory glance and then stops on the Ashari symbol. Ashari, interesting. How long have you been with the Ashari? Since birth or recent or?
Since birth. Grew up in Pyra.
Pyra. Excellent, excellent. Isilra is beautiful this time of year. I have a few friends associated with the Ashari. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance with yet another, though both of my friends are sort of the Zephyra Ashari, but cousins, I suppose. How is it that I could be of assistance to you?
Well, there's been an issue with rifts in the city. I don't know how much you know specifically about it here, but Beauregard, I don't think I'd call her Beauregard had a type of compass almost that pointed her towards them. She said that
Actually,
you made
that makes
those.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense if you're who sort of points to where your symbol is on himself. Makes a lot of sense. Yes, he reaches to a pocket and produces one of these little almost glass bead and places it down in front of you. This is one of those devices. You should be able to use these to sort of sense out portals and things like that. Are you interested in acquiring one of these?
I am.
Well, if it's for this Shari, let it not be known, or let it be known, rather, that Sean Gilmore always repays his debts, and I do owe a little bit of debt to the Ashari at the current moment. This will be, let's see. I'll have you cover the costs of creating it, and that is all. I don't want to be stingy. So, how does 35 golds?
It sounds great. I guess I don't know a lot about them. Are they? Could you describe exactly how it works again? Beauregard gave me a brief overview.
Yes. When in its natural state, you can he sort of picks it up and with a quick whipping shake, it goes and attempts a like pulse of energy and dives back to the clear crystal. You can release a bit of an energy with a shake, and if it connects to an elemental, to a separate plane, some sort of extraplanar magic that is specifically tied to a rift or a portal or some other form of walkway, it will glow with a certain color based off of the, I assume as an Ashari you're familiar with the veil, as it were, on ethereal. Is that correct?
I feel like I have a lot of notes written down about this. I'm gonna go ahead and say yes for now, but I don't, off the top of my head, remember all of it.
Excellent. Quick refresher. All the different planes have different colorations based off of the veils within the ethereal plane, though they vary. It will connect and change the color associated with that particular plane. And it will drift in a certain direction based off of which direction this portal is to you. The closer you get, the closer to the center it will be. That being said, it is a little finicky if there are more than one portal. It will attach to the nearest location, but if you would like, you can also charge it with specific affinity. He goes into a little bit more of an explanation because I don't know how to explain this in out of game terms. In game terms, I still need to write this up, but you can use an action to choose a type or plane, and instead of being within a mile, it will be, or if you normally do it, it's within 1,000 feet. If you do it with the kind of like a locate object, but with a specifically for portals, if you attune it to a specific type, it is allowed to extend its range out to 5 miles. Because I believe that's how far your primeval awareness is, correct? Let me double check. 'Cause I
1
also-
mile, 6 miles if it's favored terrain.
So in that case, it'll be 6 miles to match your favored terrain. So if you attune it to a specific plane or specific type of magic, then it can sense that specific one within 6 miles. If you keep it generic, it's only 1,000 feet, as per like the locate object spell.
Okay. And so if you were able to make these, you must know something about planar energies and the rifts. Do you know, or do you have any theories about what might be causing this all to happen?
I've had a few. I'll be honest with you. I'm good with general, but there's certain areas that I am not the most proficient. There are other people that are better at it. The best that I can understand, or the best that I I would be able to venture against, is if how do I would treat the plane sort of like the moon. Many things in nature wax and wane. This would include the connection of certain. As they pass over one another, it can become or able to punch through easier, much like how the tides go. So should two planes get very close to one another, the ability for a portal to be created is much more likely than when they are further apart. Overlapping. Should, however, something, he sort of looks around for a moment. He takes like a couple of sheets of paper and uses Mage Hand to like separate them out so that each piece of paper is in between different ones. Should something, as he picks up the pearl again, or the glass bead, were to place itself, places it on the top, and you watch as all the papers sort of fold in together. If something strong enough were to be centered on it, it could mean that multiple planes could mesh together all at once. My theory, at the very least, is that something has been pushing on the plane in this general area that's caused rifts to open in many places. And he sort of gives a bit of a hand wave and says, there are other elements, other sections, other things that have cropped up in recent time where planes have been acting erratically. I think whatever this is, it's roaming. It's sort of to keep up with the analogy. He uses his hand to sort of roll the glass bead around on the paper, showing how like different sections of the paper are closing in on one another. Whatever this is, it has opened up rifts here, but there have been rifts and tears in other places as well. Actually, it sort of points to you and says, "You may. What is your purpose for leaving Pirate? If it is all right."
I was worried that there were rifts opening specifically with the elemental plane of fire, places that we didn't know about?
Do know. You're familiar with this. I can help with this, I think. He pulls out, or sort of reaches into a bag, pulls out a map and rolls it out, and puts little blots on the map here and there, using prestidigitation to just create little markers on it. And says, there have been, whatever this is, has been rolling around on the, rolling being just a colloquial term, it's been rolling around on this, on our plane, causing levels or regions to smush closer to the outer planes. And as a result, some of these rifts sort of tear open because of the proximity. Things that have already existed there have been rent a bit more open and are now threatening to not close back, as it were. Sort of like if you were to take a sausage and cut into it and then press, put pressure. That pressure is going to cause some of the meat to leave the sleeve of the sausage. It won't go back in. You'd have to force it back closed. You'd have to sort of cause it to go back into the packaging of the food. It's sort of like that. If it's been pressed out, then it hasn't reclosed once this, whatever this is, and he sort of rolls the marble around, leaves, they stay open. And it's caused some chaos here and there. How familiar are you with the continent of Tal'Dorei?
I've never been myself.
Well, I'm aware that your friends from Zephyra would be more familiar with the area. But one of the things that actually Zephyra is looking into, in fact, I believe the voice has personally saw to this herself. There's a section of Tal'Dorei, sort of in the middle, referred to as the Frostwell. It's a forest that has been sort of set by permafrost due to a connection to the elemental plane of ice. What that specific portal, that connection, has been ripped and hasn't been closing. This has been cropping up all over the place. In fact, there have been a number of rifts all across the world, as far as I'm aware, that have been having similar issues. Things that have been forced open and cannot force themselves back closed. I imagine that much like the Frostwell, where this has become an issue, there may be other places where once this presence has passed through, the rifts have opened and not been allowed to close because of the damage that it's left in its wake. I do not know what is rolling across our plane so willy-nilly, causing this mass tearing. We have some interesting folks working on this project. Some good friends of and hopefully we're going to be able to find some solutions, get some things closed. But if not, we may need to enlist some extra assistance from the Ashar. It is actually quite good that I run into you here, because if you have already sought out some of these rifts, then it must mean that you're well attuned to these things. You may already be aware of some of the issues that have been going on. I don't know. We're working on a way to sort of take this, and he picks up the bead once again, handing it over to you finally, like letting you have it and not taking it from you again. But says, we're trying to imitate that on a much larger scale, though it's complicated. Potentially something that could serve as a form of orrery for lack of better, for all of it. Hopefully, it'd be able to pick up more than one at the same time as well, which is sort of the problem we're getting into. Making it extend its range is one thing, picking up on multiple sources, the challenging.
So it sounds like we, or you rather, are still working on ways to locate the rifts more accurately, but what do you do when you find them? How do you close them?
Some people have a greater affinity for closing rifts than others. Others, actually, certain folks have already gotten into the process of developing certain spells that would be able to close rifts should you find. He believe these were ones that were already mentioned. But it would be like the what was it? It was the two you sent me, I think.
The ones from
Gate seal. That's it. There's
Absolutely not.
there's a friend of mine, one of my coworkers, who is working on creating a spell that could seal gates away. We sort of already have developed a spell that we are using for in these, and so it points towards the bead that he's given you. That's able to sense the presence of these portals. There's a even stronger version they are working. There's a couple of individuals on it. But the hope is to be able to seal back these rifts. Should you and your companions be out and about and searching for these rifts already, it may be good to do some field testing. Would you be willing to cooperate in a bit of a study?
If it might help to close the rifts, then of course.
Wonderful. I will have to get back to you on that.
I don't think we're gonna have a problem closing the rifts. I think we've got something that can close them.
He thinks for a moment and says, I will have to get back to you on that. In the meantime, I do wish you the best of luck. Is there anything else I can do for you before I depart? I do have a couple of other business things to take care of in Wrexham today.
No, I think that's all that I had. You've been very helpful, thank you.
Excellent. By the way, what was your name?
Aiden Conley.
Great. Fantastic to meet you. If you're ever in Amon or Western, as we are expanding, do remember your good friend, Gil. We have a fabulous look at glorious location in both. He will give like a deep humble bow, faux humble bow rather, and sort of turn on his heels to leave. As he does so, he will you'll see that same similar like puff of that thick purple smoke.
This guy sounds completely like Gilderoy Lockhart to me.
Very similar vibes, but less of a fraud.
Correct. As soon as you started describing him, I mean, I immediately got Gilderoy.
I think that's all that I had with the Cobalt Soul.
Besides, just to get an idea, if we want to try to see if we can finish and get you guys on the road in the quick thing, does anyone have anything besides Oh yeah.
I don't think so.
Yotev is just gonna be working on shit.
Mine's gonna be
Invention.
quick. Like seriously, it won't take long at all.
Kenji, Killian, or Cassandra?
I'm good at
I've
it.
got nothing else.
I'm
Okay.
legitimately just hiding for the next several days.
I'll
Yeah.
stay with her just to protect her.
Got it.
Like,
Uh,
I'm not gonna leave. And not because I don't want to help or anything, but because I'm not taking chances.
No, yeah.
Kenji, do you have anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so we'll do really quick. Varnex. I may have you. Are you okay with rolling outside the session, Ryan?
That's fine.
Okay. Varnex.
Oh, for his invention stuff.
Yeah, for whatever he comes up.
Yeah. We can do it next week. I don't care.
Oh no. We
wants us
what
on the
do
road.
you have on your? There's a point I kind of want to get to, if we can.
Okay. All right. Well, obviously, Varnex is going to go back to the Kobold Claw.
Mhm.
He is going to go ahead and do the same thing that Carthel did with his claws on that piece of wood, and hopefully it opens.
It does.
Okay, I assumed that it would. I assume he is there.
He is, yes.
Good.
Carthel.
I'll pull out a sending stone, hand it to him.
This is for you. So that we can stay in touch.
We're keeping in contact.
You're going to be in close contact.
Love.
I'm giving you a mission. Other than the Ivory Claw, honestly, I don't care about them and their movements now. You need to make this sept more. Recruit more. I have been called to make this my temple in her name. You now work for me. If you need anything, let me know.
That crest that I sent in chat needs to be displayed somewhere there. And
You also need to start looking at blacksmiths that will be able to custom make a set of plate for me. It needs to be black enameled, have that crest on the right shoulder. On the inside of the breastplate, you will have to find a way to get mounted another one of Tiamat's symbols. The left shoulder will have more of a samurai set of pauldrons down the side, and the right one a standard shoulder pauldron. If you need sketches, I can provide them.
He makes quick notes of it and says, sketches aside, I think this is enough to go off of, at least for now.
You have any questions?
Suppose not, if it is Our Lady's will.
It is.
And with that, I'll make sure that he understands. Contact me anytime. I thank you for the dagger. I got that, but grow the sect.
Got it. He will sort of nod to you, and as you walk out, he has already turned to start working on various elements of the requests you've made.
Wait,
All right.
that's all I have. Seriously. So my thought, and we can talk later if you want,
Mhm.
is that this is now my home base of operation as far as for my, like, I'm thinking of power plays of being, you know what I mean? All right, so now the
Yeah.
next city, take that one over and, right?
Slowly build, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm starting here. So, yeah.
Make a note of that for myself.
I mean, it's just a thought. And if you don't think that's anything that I should be doing, then I'll leave it at this one. But
No, this works.
I think that fits into his character of where
Very
he's going.
aggressive move.
All right.
I mean, yeah, it is. But if he's gonna be the champion, end all be all, then yes.
So, with that, you've all completed your tasks well before noon. Do you wait for an entire day, or do you leave prior to the mark?
Prior to
I say we
what's
get
up?
another.
Pathing
good-
we need to figure out a little, but that's about it.
I think we need another. I think we don't start until the next day. There's some last minute supplies that we could get, like maybe some healing potions and shit like that. I don't know.
I
I
agree
don't
with
know
that.
what actual supplies we have for travel. I mean, I know
I
we
think
don't need food or lodging,
Mhm.
but
I think we need to visit Bo maybe one more time before we go.
Let her know that where we're heading.
Okay. Fill around. Easily done.
I mean, I could have done that while I was talking to her today.
Yep, easily done. Just let her know where you're headed, and she's got means of contacting you. Either way.
So
With that, here's where I would like to leave. After another night's rest, you leave early in the morning, on your way towards the city of Shady Creek Run, where you hope to find all kinds of manner of people to dispose of, be it for your personal debts, for your driven goal, or just for the sheer sake of it all for some of you. As you leave the city of Zadash, and we'll talk about which way you take it at a later time, as I
Yeah.
will need to. But as you leave the city of Zadash, you travel for all morning, all afternoon. As it begins to crest into dusk, the sun setting on the mountains, you notice a smoke stack rising into the air as a small yet humble cottage rests waiting at the side of the road.
what now? What was waiting?
Small,
No.
humble
Cottage.
cottage.
Oh
You-
no!
on
Fuck
the
you,
side of the road.
Snooky.
As soon as when I walked in and heard you talking about a book, I'm like, fuck Jeff.
Yeah, dude.
God damn it.
And with that, we will end the session.
Oh man,
I don't like this at all.
I got a lot to think about now.
Waiting, expectant for you on the side of the road.
God.
This is bullshit.
Happy 2024. Well, Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
So another year of extravagant casters.
Do we want to continue signing off into the new year?
Works for
No,
me.
because I don't really.
All
I
right.
You
mean,
should.
unless you want the influencers to, I don't care. I don't have anything to add to it.
I'm easy. Just wave at the camera.
Night
Oh,
all.
no.
Happy New Year. Love
I
you.
I gotta
Thanks.
animate my wave. Hold on. Hold on. I can do it. Where's it
Oh
at?
my god.
Where's it
Come
at?
on, Wing.
There we go.
There he
Yes,
is.
yes. Surely I can. Oh, yeah. This is fine. Yo, I was very prepared.
Of course.
Yeah. And
Good
stream,
stuff.
And
That was really
Uh,
good. I like it all.
I didn't mean to fully rush you out of Zadash, but I did make a promise step. I intend
Yeah.
to keep that promise, guys.
I
What
just
was the